Starters, I mean to go on unresponsive. There we go, establishing connection. Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Today's live stream, I am working on this crazy Deff dread. I'm going to be hard pressed to come up with another two that look similar or as impressive, but I reckon over time I will do. I've got at least two to do.
Yeah.
And I've been able to flick from one project to another now on the live stream, so things aren't as boring as they used to be. We still have more like had nothing done on him really the other day. That leg was starting to stress me out. But I will figure that one out as well.
And I'm working on grey nights in a very easy method for non-metallic grey.
You were on about this.
Yeah.
Lots of overbrushing.
Lots of overbrushing. I'm going to go back when I've got the layers all done. I will be going back and doing it properly as well, just to really bring out those high points, and add reflection to it.
If you can come up with a good shortcut routine, I'm sure everyone would like to see that.
Yeah. So shortcuts for non-metallics. Well, I think the universe will approve. I can't take credit. I did find it on YouTube, but I can't remember the guy's name. But it was he did it painting the legs of an Imperial Knight.
Oh, so it works on a large scale as well then.
Yeah. I've just adapted it.
How big was his dry brush?
About
All right, I thought I'd use one of those massive makeup ones for something that big.
But so yeah, I'm adapting it and using my own colours, my own colour variants. So it's still fairly experimental, but the method is sound because I've seen it.
So you've got the method down.
Yeah, just the colours might not work as well as I hope, but I'll still get something like what I'm looking for.
Alright. I do want loads of stacks and chimneys coming out the back here. I may have to make some out of plastic card.
I do reckon when you do your next Deff dread, you're going to end up having to use it.
For arm parts. I think I've got a bunch of arm parts. Thank you, Apple. Is he going in there now?
It may as well, because I ain't
sure,
using
mate?
it. I've got one Demon Prince here. My next Demon Prince is going to be made out of a lion, the plastic one.
Well, I've got most of these parts, mate, so if you don't...
Feel free, mate.
Yeah.
I don't use demonic parts anyway, for the most part.
Alright, guys. So, we're now arguing over who gets whose parts. It's rather polite in the studio. Are you sure you're not using this part, mate?
Yeah, our arguments are kind of backwards. No, please have it.
I mean, I can see why you'd say that, because I could obviously do another mutated arm the other way.
Yeah, it also gives you, because you want to be dreadnoughts to be similar. So
yes,
it makes sense to
the reason for
have
that
a
is
similar...
if and when they ever see a tabletop, like my opponent needs to be able to see what is what.
Yeah.
That's only fair. I can't make everything look completely unique.
No.
Has to be some uniform to it.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're just going to be really confused.
And that's not going to make good gameplay for anybody.
No. And then you'd be confused as well, because you're like, fuck, what's that?
Yeah. What I was thinking when I put the bases on is to actually put like a little plate underneath the base that's hollowed in, and then it will tell you what's on the weapon. So at any point, tournament or table play, they'll be like, "Oh, it's supposed to be. Didn't you say it was this?" And they'll say what it is underneath.
You can get nameplates for that. Get them 3D printed.
Oh,
and
cool.
it's like Deff dread this weapon.
That's kind of cool. Well, can't you get 3D printed nowadays?
Mate.
You know, like 3D printing and scanning has gone that far. Our last got our braces off the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't even do the push mold anymore for the, what are they called?
For the...
What are the guards they put on afterwards?
Yeah, the removable braces.
Yeah, but no, they scan the teeth now instead of mucking around with that horrible putty stuff.
Yeah, I had braces when I was a kid, just like a lot of people. And yeah, I remember mine had to be moulded.
Yeah, and it always tastes disgusting. Got left on, but I don't need that.
So yeah, them being scanned, lots less invasive.
Yeah, I mean, weird. I wasn't expecting that, but welcome to the future.
Yeah, we basically live in it.
We live in a future where things almost work.
Almost.
Almost, not quite. Right, these are going to be a pain, and they have been for a while deciding what to put on where, but we have all this fleshy stuff here, Sorry, camera's at a bit of a weird angle today. Oh, I'm not sat close enough. Right, maybe carry some of this on over here too. And that is where I will connect the other arms. And I like these particular pincers because they just look a little bit more nergly. And at the moment, Games Workshop don't seem to really care too much about what is what on a model. So that's something that I don't have to worry about. Hey, Lord Tattoo says, afternoon lads, hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, I did, for the most part.
Except your bit of rusty car that fell off.
The bit of rusty car that fell off, and the fact that the other half is being a knobhead.
Oh no.
But we'll not go into that because that's private stuff.
Yeah. But no, you've made me think of the front fell off now.
It basically did, mate.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. Front of your car fell off. You always have car troubles.
Nah, it is what it is, isn't it?
If you took an average of people in England with car troubles,
I
you would
be
up the average by 2%.
on my own.
Yeah, just you. Does it not get ramshackle now because of the rust?
Not enough rust on it, mate. It just fell off.
Oh no. I think guess a wave at it. Rain at it. Chance in a million in England.
Oh yeah.
So how was your weekend? Lord Tattoo, sorry about that. I was trying to read your comment again, and Norton decided to tell me everything's fine. Yeah, thanks.
Cheers. Well, my computer is nothing fine on it. It's starting to glitch like mad.
Your actual computer, not this one, I hope.
My one at home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the motherboard's fried on it.
Oh mate, it's always something in it.
But at that point, it's like, yeah, I need a new computer now. Which is, well, that's going to have to go on the list of things I need. You know, like a replacement car.
It's always the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get one thing fixed, two things break. I actually had 5 years of my life that went like that. The second anything went good, two things would go wrong. And that clearly, after 5 years, was not doing very well for my mental health.
Or your bank account.
Or my bank account. No, what bank account?
Yeah, exactly.
Everything always needed fixing or replacing. Alright. I mean, this is a bit ridiculous arm size. Not sure what to do with this one. There's a lot of fleshy ones on here. I'm wondering, does the big metal one look out of place? Maybe not so much, if I can find those parts. If I can't, I'll probably just rip them off this. Because this is second hand from eBay. I took the front out, planning to do another design similar to this. But the pose isn't right. I would like to have the orc inside leaning forward out of the Deff Dread, yelling.
Yelling,
So
drive me
like,
closer.
So it's looking like it's yelling down at something.
Drive me closer, I want to hit it with my sword.
I want to bite off its head with my orky teeth. That's the arm I'm looking for.
With my strong teeth.
So yeah, I think that metallic part would work. Maybe I put a bit of flesh to the shoulder just to blend it in a bit. That's a bunch of green stuff in work. Well, I'm kind of liking this pose. I'm going to struggle with the legs because that'll be a final idea. On Thursday, I decided that these spikes are okay, but to complement them, I was going to take the other part from the bottom and put those on the top there, so it looks like extra armor plating, but also from the side looks more like Andy said it looks more like a mouth roaring at you, and I kind of like that. So that's going to go on at some point. Obviously, being 3D, these aren't, these aren't going to look good, so I have to figure that out as well. Maybe put pipes down the back here. And I was looking at these bits from a bike. It's not from a bike, it's the seat from a truck, because I'll use about 50 parts from different kits just to make one bit.
Yeah, you'll see one section, it's like, that'll work for this, but I need to get it to this pit before it'll work.
It's sort of a camouflage technique, because anyone who's been into the hobby for a while can spot a part on a conversion and be like, oh, you stuck that on. Well, it's a lot harder to do if it's made of 50 parts. Makes it look a bit more original. I've got two of these. I think the bigger one will look better. Biggest is
she
best.
said.
Lord Tattoo says, did you manage to see the photos I sent? Oh, did I look at those? Just a sec. Was that on Instagram? I'll have a check for you, mate.
Was that the wolves?
Yes, it was Space Wolf, wasn't it? The Gemini chapter.
Yeah, we did look at them.
Yeah, we did look at those. Yeah, I liked the dark colours on that and the dark tones. Here's me just hoping we are remembering the correct thing.
But we'll double check anyway. No harm in that.
Yep. Yeah, I think those are the ones we looked at. I'm terrible with Instagram, guys. I've actually started setting it so we're following people back that just start following us from the live stream. That way, communication is easier. Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, we both did. We both thought they were quite cool.
Yeah, it's my kind of colour palette, mate. You know, much muted, dark, grimy colours.
I tend to like brighter colours with grime effects on it.
Very true. Been a fan of the grim dark.
Yeah, we both have. I mean, since John Blanche, isn't it?
Yeah,
We do sort of fanboy over him a bit.
a little bit, just a bit. But it was that unique style that
Yeah.
Games Workshop has lost now.
It made it so different. Ooh, that's a bit heavy. His style was so different compared to everyone else's what worked for G-Dub.
Yeah.
And it made it interesting.
I might go for that arm because it sort of complements the shape of the other arm. So it's either this one or this one.
Piss.
But that doesn't look quite right on that arm. What do you guys reckon? I'll have to figure one of those out. I mean, cutting this part off here, bulking it up and attaching it there. Yeah, there's a lot of wiggle room there to be worked with. Got to figure out what to do with that shoulder then, and how I'm going to cut and glue that in. Lots of decision making, and I must make some decisions today, otherwise it'll never be finished. Magnetizing weapons could be nice on this.
I don't think it's necessary though on a Orc Dreadnought. Because they can't shoot straight.
Am I going to bother with any guns on a Death Dread, or am I just going to leave them a big hulking mess? You know.
I mean, in all fairness, if you're going to give it guns, you're going to give
Scorcher, so
it'll
it
be
can hit something.
2 Scorchers.
Which I thought of doing for these two.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not parts that are easily replaceable. Unless someone's got spare ones they want to send me, because they are from the Forge Fiend kit.
There's a good chance of me buying a couple of Forge Fiends at some point in the near future.
I mean, I could magnetize those on because I'm just going to put them straight into those holes, and then I could make different variants, which would be fine because then he could always have his base two
claws,
two
plus
claws
plus X.
Yeah, whatever X decides to be at the time. The first hand looks best. Thank you, Lord Tattoo. That's kind of where I was thinking. This one just doesn't look quite as menacing compared to the bulk of the whole model. Whereas that looks like, you know, one of the big fireman tools they've got for cutting metal pieces through.
Oh, yeah, the claw for cutting roofs off of vehicles.
Yeah, this one. Like, yeah, that's probably the better call. Now to decide how to position and attach it. And hello to the new viewer that just jumped in.
Hello.
Hello. Currently, I'm working on my waaagh decay, Nurgle Orcs, Death Dread, and Andy is working on his gay nights on not Twitter, Twitch.
No, we're not doing gay nights, but that's for next Pride Month.
And then we're gonna give them away.
Yeah.
On like eBay or something for charity. That'll be a fun project.
Well, we could do Rainbow Warriors, which is the classic gay pride faction.
Reminds me of one of the first live streams where we ended up doing My Little Pony Space Marines that didn't get finished.
Nothing gets finished.
That's true.
We always. I finish
distracted.
stuff more often. I still don't finish much.
I get distracted so easy. That's a good piece. I'll use that. That's just a good bit of plating. You know, that could definitely work with a bit of cutting down. Maybe overlap the plate, cut that plate out. Looks like it'll fit, and then have cabling made of green stuff coming out here and into these parts.
He's got cable.
Aye. Well, cables, pipes, you name it, I've got it. You were making bloody cable jokes, weren't you? And I just went
You and
straight
purple
over
grey
that.
nights, lol.
Yep.
Oh, pink and purple.
Yeah, pink and purple grey nights, Lord Tyro says, with you know, do rainbow cloaks and everything on them as well.
That was what one suggestion I had for from one of our viewers, Millward. He suggested that I went for the sort of a nebula effect on the cloaks.
Ooh.
What do you think would look kind of cool?
On the off day, you get the airbrush to work.
Yeah, I mean,
Could you imagine an airbrush working?
what heresy do you speak?
When you first get them and they work perfectly though, oh, they're brilliant.
Yeah, they've earned no retirement now. We've had them for 5 or 6 years now, so
It's got to the point we can't even tell which bit's causing the problems now.
no, we just need to reboot them, get fresh. They've had, I mean,
5 years of
5
us
years of-
doing all this work and commission work and everything else with them. That's a lot of
6,
wear.
7 hours, at least 10 or 15 hours a week, just being used for whatever bullshit we're doing. So yeah, it's not surprising they're wore out.
It's one of the most awkward things to fault check. It's like, oh, I'll check this. Is it that? No. Check the next thing. Is it that? It's always something.
So I think the next time we get a decent a big commission in, we'll just go right, 2 new airbrushes,
Yeah.
boom.
Get that extension sorted as well.
Hey, I was told I was average.
She was generous.
It's just a nice way of saying it's small.
Yeah.
I have too many thoughts.
One day I'll find the tweezers that disappeared.
Not guilty.
And I know a lot of tools disappear on your desk. They're probably underneath something somewhere.
Yeah. Underneath something, what's also underneath something.
Yeah, some unfinished project from like 6 months ago.
Oh. Yeah.
Lord Taylor says he's never used an airbrush. It's a brilliant tool.
When they're working, they're so enjoyable.
Yeah.
They really are a wonderful thing when they work well. Especially when they're brand new. You never have problems with them brand new.
No. But if you start using an airbrush and you're not sure whether you want to invest or not, I recommend the Iowata with the 0.3mm needle. It's perfectly good cone on it for painting miniatures, but not too detailed, and the extra 0.1mm needle gives you a little bit more wiggle room with getting the consistency of paint right. So it's a really good starter brush and only costs about 50 quid.
Yeah, you can actually get some decent cheap ones as well on Amazon and that, with what come with a little cheap and easy compressor. Like, you can pay for like 30 quid for it, and they're actually pretty good from what I've seen. For what for what you pay.
One of the main things I noticed about the Iowata though is you pay so much for repairs on parts. You may as well at certain times just buy a whole new airbrush.
Yeah, they are very expensive to repair. But I think that's because it's such a good airbrush for its cost.
I think it was F Fix Models where we got ours from with a massive discount. So if you're interested, I'd check those out. I don't think Composite Games sells airbrushes just
No,
yet.
we don't know.
No. So that can work.
We'll have
I'm
to poke
probably
them to
going
do
to
it.
take this other bit of panel off or score the underneath of it so that I can bend it back and make it look like it fits a little better. Alright, I'm not going to score that properly.
But yeah, they are very enjoyable when they're working properly. But there's nothing more frustrating when they're not.
No, especially when you're only trying to do a basic job like prime.
Oh, that's the worst.
But polyurethane, that's a bugger for blocking up airbrushes.
Oh yeah. That's one thing we will do when we get round to it is get for priming, get an airbrush with a nice wide nozzle. Don't block
Yeah,
up
a 3
as
point,
much.
like a 0.3 would be perfect, like an IOR.
Maybe even a 4.
It's just for priming. Very
Just-
handy when it comes to gloss and varnish too.
Yeah.
Right, score.
Just a nice broad nozzle so it can get a job done quick and not block up every time you turn around.
Don't have to turn around, mate. Just take your eyes off it.
Yeah.
And then there's always the losing of the nozzle cap.
Yeah, that's fun. Where'd that go? Ah, crap.
Yeah, and you've always got your hands full of stuff, so you don't want to put the airbrush down and dint the needle on it. Right, score that a little bit.
It's like losing a piece of unpainted plastic.
Well, that's easy done.
Just disappears into the warp or something, I don't know.
I'm always losing bits. Turns out they're usually right under my eyes.
Oh yeah. When they go onto the floor though, it's like, how the hell do they disappear so well?
I don't know. Right, let's bend this with that score, hopefully not too far. Right, let's open that up. And there should be enough of a groove in there for me to just paint that black when it's painted. And make it look like it's got a bit more depth.
Schools end, well, round here they do, end of week.
Yeah,
Yeah, they break up for summer holidays soon.
nice.
Dylan's off school for 6 weeks or something from Friday.
Oh, I already thought it was summer. Like me and Jen were on about that. It seemed like we had summer during the spring. It's been very weird.
Yeah, weather's been mental.
So even more detailing. How's that looking? I like the overlap look. Might be able to get that to pop in there. I reckon so. Get in there.
Get in here.
Get in here. That's not too bad. Don't want to lose too much detail on the hands either though. Lord Tattoo says I use spray can for priming and some base coats. That's an easy one.
Yeah,
We do that as well.
yeah. That's out of being forced to though because the airbrush stopped working.
Yeah, with the polyurethane you'll always get a nice thinner coat. There's always a lot more control as well.
But there's nothing wrong with rattle canner priming and base coats.
Nope.
They do the job nicely. Especially if you can get the ones that are a perfect match for the colour you want to use.
Oh yes.
That saves loads of effort. And you can even do Zenithal with a rattle can. It's just a bit more complicated. You just have to be really careful.
It's reminded me I was in Range the other day looking at spray paint.
Oh yeah.
And they've got one called Ultramarine Blue.
Yeah, because it's an actual colour.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got no to do with ultramarines.
I did not know that. It confused me.
So, what are you doing with ultramarine stuff?
Yeah, that's basically my entire thought process. Hey?
And it is
That
actually
can work, I think.
the same colour as ultramarines.
Yeah. Ah. Do you guys reckon? Definitely option one for potential parts. Fits in there kind of nice. I can add more cable into that little gap that it's got there. The initial green stuff is just green stuff over a peg. I was temporarily going to put this arm on, let that set with the green stuff as a plug and pull it off, but the universe was like, no, this is going to stick permanently now.
Yeah, that's true.
Just the way that works.
So, no, I'm not going nowhere now, I'm happy.
Well, I'm happy that it's happy. It's on there quite well. Right. And there's the back of the arm's going to need a bunch of work, as you can tell. I need extra piping. This will probably get green stuffed. But at the moment, I'm struggling to visualise all the things that need green stuffing, and I don't want to just sit there poking green stuff around. Although that's probably what will happen eventually.
Without doubt.
Right, so we're also going to figure out now. Which one? The bigger one, I guess. Two there. Yeah, I'm going to go for the bigger one. I can go back to the box, and that'll be the other arm. So I want to build some muscle mass on that as well with the green stuff. Angle. How do you want to angle it? All the other arms are forward. Need something to break up that constant shape there. So something upwards would probably be the better call there. Something like this. Yeah, I think so. Right. So I know what angle it's going in. I know what head I'm going to use for it. That's something. We're making progress today. At least mentally. The roadmap to building weird stuff. Thinking on this one, the bell might be a bit excessive. Lord Tattoo says it was good to see the Smurfs loose on the weekend.
Oh, yeah. The worldwide campaign based on the Leviathan box set, results came in and Ultramarines lost. So the Tyranids got their reveals first.
I missed out on all that.
The new Tyranid stuff looks pretty good. We've got a new a Norn, from the Norn Queen sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've released something a new biggie.
Yeah.
It's called there's a Norn Emissary and a Norn Ambassador.
They should be pretty big models if I remember correctly.
They are. They're about 1.5 inches taller than a Eldar Wraith Lord.
Yeah.
So they're a good inch or so taller than a Hive Tyrant.
Cool. I saw a cool conversion for that actually the other day. So give me 1 sec. I think I saved it.
I saw a Monster Hunter. No, not a Monster Hunter. Alien version of a Hive Tyrant recently. Today.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, Pacific Rim themed. That was it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
But not bad films actually. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed them.
Let's just see if I can find this image for you.
Although
guys.
I think Jason Boyega's a massively overrated actor.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all just. I'm sure they were making most of this out of bits, and I think it looks kind of impressive.
Well, the new biovores look like spiders with cannons attached.
Cool.
Yeah, if you jump onto when you get a chance, if you jump onto the GW community page, mate, you'll see all new releases.
Yeah. I thought all the new releases were in the just in that box.
No. Because them and Marines getting the first codexes. Well, obviously Marines, but
Oh, always.
Yeah, but NIDS are the other faction for this edition, so
That makes sense. At least it's humans and then one Xenos army, because I think it was Ninth they were doing, and it was just nothing but Space Marine chapters
and various Chaos Legions.
Yeah, and everyone else was just sat waiting.
Yeah.
For quite some time. Should be a ball
I mean,
for this somewhere.
As a marine player of various types, just like I want to see more non-marine stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I play Chaos Marines. I've got a 500-point loyalist army. I've got Grey Knights, and even I get bored of looking at new releases of various types of power armor. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a lot of power armor. Should be another arm for this somewhere.
But at least they're expanding the NID range. It's about time they had a refresh. New Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
New little Gribblies, Gaunts and Hammer Gaunts.
I've seen a lot of people painting this stuff at the moment on Instagram, which makes a lot of sense. Because everyone's buying, lots of box sets.
Yeah. Because obviously Leviathan comes with a whole new stuff. Death Leaper looks good. That's the special character Lictor. Then the new Lictors look nice. And there's a new type of Lictor as well.
Cool. Is that the small one?
That's the stealthy one.
Yeah.
The sneaky one. So there's kind of two types of Lictors. There's a new Lictors what come in squads.
Mm-hmm.
So not quite as big, but more like a pack of wolves and a tiger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think of a Lictor as a tiger, then the other one's like a pack of wolves. And then there's this one called a Noro Lictor, which looks like some kind of. Do you know what an Illithid is from D&D?
No, unfortunately.
So an Illithid is a psychic, not a psyker. It's a psychic in the sort of mind control-y stuff.
Okay.
And it's got like an octopus for its head, so like very Cthulhu-esque.
Ah, okay.
And that's a bit like what the direction they went with this Noro Lictor thing. Got this kind of octo head thing going on.
Cool. Well, I'm going to try and cut this in 2 angles, a perfect angle, so I can utilise both sides of detail without sawing straight through them, because it'll come in handy later. Yeah, tell me about it. I reckon I can do it.
I reckon you're just going to cut your finger.
That's also a possibility. Place your bets now, Bonsai. That was a really weird show. I think I can get these off. And anything that gets slightly damaged can definitely be green stuffed over.
As long as you don't completely ruin it.
Yeah, it's the main shape that I'm looking for. I have 2 people viewing, waiting to see does this go through his fingers, or does he get the cut perfect, or does he cut his fingers and mess it up?
Place your bets for option 3, please.
You're hoping for option 3.
I'm surprised I've got out left off my fingers from last week.
Yeah, and Lord Tattoo is thinking of doing Orc Nid hybrid army now. Go for it, it'll be loads of fun.
Yeah, and actually fits in the fluff because of Octavian War.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the war versus Orcs and Nids. What an Inquisitor set up, thinking if we sent Lord War into a Nid high fleet, they might just kill each other and leave us alone.
That is, in theory, makes complete sense.
And for a few decades it worked. What we've now got, the Imperium now got a problem though of a hyper-adapted high fleet and massive orcs.
Because of the growth rate of orcs during fighting. Yeah.
And we've got bored of fighting each other.
Oh, yeah, that's going to work out lovely for the Imperium.
So the orcs got bored of fighting the Nids because, they like to change it up from time to time, don't they?
Yeah.
And the Nids were like, we're running out of food, so we need to turn off.
There's too much biomass, but also because it's orcs, there's plenty of biomass to be replaced. Must have been an epic fight.
Yeah.
The orcs must have been very, very happy.
They was. And now you've got these massive orcs running around besides the dreadnoughts.
Yeah, they were happy orcs.
What have wandered off because the high fleet has gone like, we can't maintain this fight. We need more biomass to fight this wall.
Well, yeah, because in theory, as it progresses, the orcs are only going to get bigger and stronger. Whereas the net loss for NIDS is going to be piling up.
Yeah.
They now need to make bigger creatures, more biomass to fight bigger orcs.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see orcs, especially over the snakebite variety, capturing a lot of those.
Yes, they did.
Come on.
I mean, they did it before in the fluff, didn't they? They let a bunch of Jinx Sealers loose on a Hulk, so they had something to do whilst they were flying around.
Yeah. Just for fun. Happy little orcs, as Bob Ross would put it. Make sure he's got plenty of teeth.
I love that statement about orcs in the warp. But flying through the warp is boring, except when actually flying through the warp is ace. Except when the demons turn up, or the spiky boys turn up, or the marines, beakies turn up, or actually flying through the warp is really good. So, yeah.
Oh, you just gotta love them. I think it was one of the Eldar made the statement that if orcs could use their advanced technology and their know-how for anything other than pure war and destruction, they would easily take over the universe.
Yeah, because the only thing what's stopping them from doing it is their inherent fractious nature.
Yeah. That's coming away now, but I want to keep this entire rivet bit together because I don't want to have to re-sculpt something like that, because that can just jog on.
They are the most, they're the biggest threat to the Imperium. Overtly, shall we say,
Yeah.
biggest overt threat. Although, with the way NIDS are shaping up for this edition, it looks like NIDS have taken the mantle of being problem number one.
Yeah, I've got a small NID army upstairs.
You should have picked up Leviathan, mate. I bet you'd be able to pick up the NID half of it pretty quick and pretty cheaply.
Yeah, I'd rather pick up a new airbrush first if I'm going to do a NID army.
Lots of effects. Actually,
I'm not doing
really
lots of
cool
effects.
colour scheme though.
Although there's loads of really cool colour schemes for NIDs in any Monster Hunter game. I'd like to do them like the Xenopods in with the purple and oranges.
But I believe their codex is out September time. No doubt loyalists will be first, because, you know, it makes sense.
Yeah, where's me hobby knife? Try not to cut my fingers.
You know, most popular faction.
Well, they're the poster boys for the entire game, really.
Yeah, and no one objects to that. You know what I mean? I just hope they don't.
Well, you know, you need a foothold in the story, and we're better to have a foothold than the human race.
Yeah,
Something familiar.
something familiar, but also dialed up because it's 40k. So you got Space Marines for that.
I remember watching a video once about why everything in 40k is so overpowered.
Yeah.
Because, well, if the heroes of the story
Are mentally hard.
mentally overpowered, everything they come across has to be a threat. Therefore,
Has to be mental.
yeah,
Which is why they always win in wars against other IPs.
yeah, yes, I've seen those comparison videos.
So yeah, you look at Star Wars. Now Star Wars would win, largely win in fleet battles because of mobility.
Yep.
But as soon as things get to land, the Imperium and Man would kick them all over the place.
Yeah, I've seen that theory as well. What about Lord Vader and the Force against Thing? It's like, no, Great Knights are like, stop this heresy.
Yeah.
Melt his brain within seconds.
Well, Lord Vader and the Force, and yeah, you've got one Jedi. We have chapters of Psychers, which is a Jedi.
Yeah, pretty much. This is getting...
And I still don't want to be there. Nope.
Yeah, it's the one fan fiction where everyone's like, I do not want to live in that universe, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll pass. I don't think it has any redeeming features.
I won't even visit. You know what I mean? In a bubble where I can't get hurt or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even visit because my brain would just melt. So, yeah, that's too much horror. Thanks.
Too much horror, you've not even gone anywhere. That's just an average day in a hive city.
Yeah.
You
Not even seen a battle yet.
Man, going to shop in Hive City, come back, your arm's missing. What happened? Gangers. Now I've got this little stubby cyber arm thing.
Got mugged.
Yep.
They took my wallet and my arm.
Well, at least it wasn't a leg. You didn't have to hop back.
So yeah, so there's some interesting theories about all that lot. I do like it.
I'm having a bit of a difficult time cutting through this. Obviously trying not to stab myself live once again.
We're only allowed a certain amount of blood on the channel
Yeah.
before we get struck. No more than 2 gallons of blood per day, please.
Time I stabbed myself. I missed my artery by nothing, mate. I think I've shown you the scar at one point.
You're not alone, mate. You've seen that scar across my middle finger.
Yeah. This straight into my thigh though. I missed my artery by nothing. I'm showing our Jen. It's like, there's a hole where the knife is, and you can see the big blue vein running right next to it.
Woo! Yeah, 1 more millimetre and I'm dead.
Yeah. I got lucky there.
The end.
You'd think I'd learn my lesson, not to cut towards myself, but
Who learns that one?
yeah. I also advise not using your leg as something to rest on when you're cutting.
Yeah, it's probably a good bit of advice, that, mate.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Come on. I want to bend and snap it off, but I know it'll stretch that bit of this rivet piece that I'm trying to keep it as a solid bit. So I've obviously tried to angle that so I can use that on one side of a model and not waste this bit for later. I don't like wastage. It just doesn't want to go. Come on.
I love the fact that you're inspiring people to do various different orc hybrid armies.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know if I'm the inspiration for this one, but I've had comments where people are like, "You've inspired me to do this," and I'm chuffed with that. I'm like,
Yeah, man.
well done. I'm glad I gave you a spark of imagination, and
Yeah, a
I'm
bit of
guessing you're
inspiration.
just away crafting now.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Aye.
We do our thing and other people do theirs, and hopefully everyone gets enjoyment out of it.
I enjoyed that one. I think it was on Twitter once, and someone was showing off their librarian with a lava cloak thing that I did, and we got a direct tag in that. Be like,
Yeah, that was cool.
Thanks
That.
for the guys and the inspiration for this, and I'm like, you've done a pretty good job on that. There we go. It broke. So those who placed the bets that I'd get all the way through without cutting myself, I want to edge your bets next time. Because that's going to go wrong. Right. Fleshy bits and piping that I don't have to sculpt myself.
Whee!
It's just a bit bloody easier. And I think I can now flip that around. And with a bit of work, it'll be one of these bits I use. I'm happy with that. It's not the most perfect cut, but I ended up utilising both detailed shapes.
Yeah, you didn't ruin both parts, or either part.
They're actually bonded this way around, Andy, so like to cut them so I get details on both sides, I've cut it at that angle so I now have.
Yeah, that's the morphine leg, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one where I managed to balls up and put on the wrong way around.
Yeah, I don't know how you managed to do that, and he stood at a really weird angle. Although it did glue that way, and it kind of looked like he was pouncing. So
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? It
was one of
worked.
those serendipitous moments where, you get lucky.
Yeah, I cocked it up, the build, even though I followed the instructions, and it looked really cool for it.
He claims he followed the instructions.
I must have done, because I've never built one of them before. And now I need 3.
3 of them.
Yeah, they're brilliant. The fortrine, not the morphine.
Snuggles is it Snuggles or Fluffy downstairs? He's still
Fluffy.
downstairs. If you want to do some work on him,
Oh, you need to finish the conversion, yeah?
Yeah, but since I won't be using it for anything, I'll probably end up half-arsing that conversion. So at least it'd be finished by that point.
There's no danger of me worrying about that just yet.
No. I don't know, man. I mean, this guy's coming on. Some of the project, they're coming on, so...
No, mate, not about me. I'm enjoying the Grey Knight thing.
Yeah, I mean, you not doing heretics?
Yeah.
I know, it's like a sign of the apocalypse, mate. The second you put that, you field them on the battlefield, that's it.
Game over.
Massive supernova from the sun, and we're all done.
Best hurry up then.
Yeah, best to ever get something finished. Get questioned in the afterlife. So what did you do with your time? What did you get done? I started lots of stuff.
I painted Typhus blue.
Yeah, I painted Typhus blue. Yeah, that's about it. I don't think I got anything done ever. The intent was there. An effort was made.
Yeah. You got a bronze.
That was good, man. That was
Awesome.
Yeah. I think our Jen's right about the way I colour things though. The Gorkanaut, the painting quality obviously has not gone down in all that time painting in Golden Demons. But the Gorkanaut was bright yellow. That's going to retain more attention than the muted palette that I do on, like the Hive Tyrant I did. That was supposed to be bright, but over time it got more and more muted. It was supposed to be like oranges and blues and greens.
It just became blue, didn't it?
It just started becoming blue and green, and everything started fading out on it a bit too much. But yeah, the point was when the judges are going through all this, if you've got a muted palette, it's going to be harder for the eyes to pick up anything, whereas if you've got something vibrant that you've done, it's obviously going to stand out more.
Yeah.
And I think she might be right, so next time I enter, I'm going to do something much brighter.
Maybe something like Eldar, so you got plenty of space for vibrant colours.
That'd be fun. I've got an idea for Nurgle diorama as well that I want to.
Oh, you want to do the garden, don't you?
Yeah.
The magic roundabout.
Yeah, because I think that would look awesome, and I can play around with bright, bright colours on that.
Well, it's all Nurgle's all about rebirth and death, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's a lot of options for luminous greens there and luminous purples,
yellows.
Yeah. Much more neon, maybe. But that's a design I've had in my head for a while. I'd like to do. Alright, just cleaning this up a little bit, guys. This is going to be the claw, and feel free to jump in the comments, because Lord Tattoo was in there. He was suggesting that I use this arm. Sometimes a little bit of encouragement helps, because I was trying to figure out which one of these to use.
Yeah, you was umming and ahhing a bit, weren't you?
So I know I jump back and forth a lot, but I do listen to people's advice on occasion, and it just seemed like the right decision. It's orky, but it also has that sort of nurgly insect feel.
I was just thinking about your Deff copters. Maybe one of them you ought to use the drone wings.
That was something I was going to do originally, but my sculpting's come a long way since then. I don't think I could have pulled it off very well. Not just my sculpting, my attention to detail. I've been telling you the bird reports from the garden randomly on the live streams. Well, it's got to the point now where me and Jen were trying to get wildlife in the garden like a month ago. Now we can't bloody move without birds whizzing past our heads, or like sitting on the fence next to us, or other random stuff like that. Yeah. Apparently where the sofa is, I was sat there yesterday and a black bird was just behind my head. They're getting really confident. Mainly because me and Jen are in the garden all the time.
You're in the garden all the time, so you see it, and they keep seeing you give them food out and that, so they're like, well, these are alright.
Yeah. I keep telling our Jen, if it keeps up like this, we've got some baby birds in there as well. And what happens is, adults obviously take the babies around, here's food, but when those babies grow up and have their own young, it'll be automatic that this is safe and has food. So at that point, it'd be like you better feed them by hand probably, which would be interesting. They're getting that confident, mate, that if I'm doing a job in garden, I'll be doing something with a shovel. They'll just sit on the end of it. It's like, get off! I'm trying to do stuff.
So, just getting in the way.
Yeah, it feels like that, mate. They're just whizzing past their heads all the time. So I'm quite chuffed with that. It's only took like a month. We thought it'd take
I thought
ages.
Yeah. That's very quick.
The escalation of it from just being a pigeon that came down that we named Dave to everything else. We've got tits, finches, swallows, blackbirds, everything but the raven, and that was the main thing I was trying to get in the garden. Although I've started putting bits of meat out and they disappear off the tray, so I'm guessing the ravens are eating those.
Either that or a local predator.
Yeah.
Or a cat.
It could be a cat, to be honest, but it probably struggle with that bird feeder. It's not exactly secure. It could be a cat though.
Proper nimble things, aren't they?
Yeah. But no, I've been trying to get the ravens to come in, so I'll, that's the bird feeder report done for the day.
What about the squirrels?
The squirrels, squirrel report. I forgot about squirrels. I didn't go feed the squirrels this weekend. Jen went the other day and she was saying they seemed ravenous. I'm like, that's because you go down there every few days and feed them, and you didn't the other day. So now they don't have as much food. So
like, where is she?
Apparently they're still getting about a foot close. So a foot, 2 foot away. That's pretty close. We had one the other day and we weren't even throwing peanuts, but it had made the connection that we're the ones with the food, and the closer it got, then we started feeding it. And after a while we were barely even throwing anything out, it was just running up to us. That's all I have to say about the squirrels today. We'll see.
I just don't know how you get them out of school.
I forgot about your euphemisms. It's hard, mate. You got to squeeze them through the fence.
Come on, little fat kid.
You can't have the fat ones. They don't fit. This is some strikes immediately on Thingy for our bad sense of humour. You've been implying this ever since I mentioned we were feeding squirrels.
Yes, I have. It amuses me.
I'm not surprised.
You're just jealous you didn't think of it first.
Yeah, I would have definitely done the same thing to you, thinking about it. Okay. Which one of these to use? I think it was this one. Don't want to go straight to putting that ball joint in there. There'll be some green stuffing to do. But pose-wise, I think something along these lines, so it doesn't just look like all the arms are down, because that's the only way they fit. You reckon, Andy? I think that'll do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Dylan this morning, he's had to, couldn't find any clean trousers, so he had to put the set what we got him for next year.
Yeah.
We're a little bit big on him. He goes, I'm not going to grow into these. Look how big they are on me. It's like, on waist and that.
Yeah.
I just turn around to him and say, you'll have to start eating some pies. Bloody well won't.
This is actually... No, this is a Deff Dread one. I hope. I'm always getting my Deff Dread sprues and thingies mixed up.
Very similar, aren't they? Basically the same kit.
Pretty much. They're interchangeable. Got some Dakar.
And some more Dakar.
A bit more Dakar.
Strapping some Dakar.
A Dakar.
A dash of Dakar.
Wait, remove that Dakar. That Dakar didn't work.
Add a splash of Dakar.
Add some chopper. Parts from the night. Could be interesting.
What's from a knight?
One of the warhounds.
No, that's the knight. That's not a warhound.
No?
No.
Which one's this?
That's a knight. Knight.
Ah. I don't know, guys. I'm just always nicking bits. It's apart from something.
Yeah, it's an imperial knight. That is. Side bought up some proper BS the other day on an army list.
Yeah.
He figured out a way of putting a Warhound Titan into a G-Sealed Cult's army.
How?
Basically,
I won't say why, but the reasons are obvious.
Yeah. It was for a combination of adding allies, because you can put Imperial stuff in a G-Sealed Cult's army.
Right.
So it changes the keywords of everything. So you put an Inquisitor in.
Yeah.
Which then allows you to, and because of that weird combination, it then allows you to put a Warhound Titan into your army. I was like, what? What kind of BS is this? I was like, that's a thing of beauty, mate.
It is. No, I like that.
So what's going on when you're pulling all this crazy out?
G-Sealer Titan would be interesting.
Yeah.
That might be an interesting one to convert.
I can't remember exactly what he said, how you do it, but I was like, oh mate, that's funny.
I hope this is alright on camera for you guys. I'm going to have to find that vice so I can hold things in place for the camera. I've only got two hands. It's definitely going to be this claw in there, but I'm going to build that up a little bit more. He's got a lot of flesh on these arms, so balance it out with something else. I could drill that hollow actually, it might save me a lot of mucking around. Right, you'll have to excuse me while the things get loud.
Ish.
Yeah, I'm not sure how bad that is on the microphone.
Probably just mildly annoying.
Isn't that our entire live stream?
Yeah, pretty much.
And we should just be on those Twitter pages, mildly annoying. Hopefully mildly amusing. Scrape all that extra off. This is just going to help me measure up what fits into what. Part of my design process is putting things on and off, and then eventually something will just...
It's like, that one.
That's the one, you know. It just takes a while to get there.
That's trial and error, innit? A lot of it.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a close one. Well, sometimes I have an idea of what I want things to look like.
Yeah.
In general, but...
Yeah, it was sort of a generalised idea, but not a specific.
Yeah, the little details really what make it pop. Don't get me wrong, a good kit bash is always good, but I can never leave it at that. As Andy will tell you, I can't just kit bash something. I always end up going the extra mile.
No wrong with that, mate. I'm getting better at converting. I still haven't got the full converting range of stuff yet, but that Demon Prince is looking pretty good. He's got his oil wash on.
Going to try and make time soon to get back onto video, so we don't just have the live stream anymore. just to get the algorithm to start going, and then we'll probably start talking to our old fans once again and letting them know that we're doing a live stream. Because I don't think YouTube recommends them to people. Not the copied version anyway. And obviously a lot of people will be at work at this time. When it comes to design, that'll go straight into flesh. That piston there, that will help blend that. I'm not sure how much flesh to go from here. If I wanted to, I could take this piece out and then bend this bar, probably warp that into itself. I can't, this is a bit. Maybe that'll look fine, I could have it protruding from flesh. Deciding which one of these is going to look the best. Not that I can't make them myself with green stuff, but I like a smoother surface to work on with that. If you start squashing green stuff in here, it just looks weird. And I wouldn't want my model looking weird.
No, not at all.
That took you a second, didn't it?
No, I gave you the look first.
I didn't realise you'd give me the look. The disapproving look. That way could work. Definitely adds a lot of that detailing to the right place. Gives me some leeway to green stuff around this and then have the cables protruding out. So far it's looking like something like this, although I might want to file some of it down. This bit would go in if I do it this way around. And actually most of that looks like it fits pretty smooth. So it looks like it might just be a case of filing that down so it fits on. And most of the work's done there already. Now in this scenario, this bit lines up, and we only need a little bit of extra sculpting here. That also overlaps in a very nice way. But I want that ball socket in there. So. Okay. To place it at that range, or to move it up and overlap it this way. Both work, as long as I can get that ball joint in. Maybe I will file some of this down. Hopefully not too much.
You said it now, mate.
Yeah. The Dremel will go all nuts and do like 50 miles an hour or something.
I remember when it's just kept accelerating.
Yes.
That was weird, that wasn't it? It just glitched out and just wouldn't stop accelerating, just got faster and faster.
Yeah, now it has a weird thing with a switch where off and number 2 don't work. It skips number 2. You have to go to number 4.
Obviously.
But it's not quite number 4. It's like in between number 2 and number 4, which shouldn't actually be a switch.
Things working properly in Bigmeks workshop.
Oh, always. We have the best gear. The greatest tools. Wonder how long it'd take me to file my teeth down with that.
Depending if it keeps accelerating.
I might be a little bit too zoomed in for some of this, that's why I'm drifting off the camera.
It's a possibility.
Everything is possible. It's just not probable. I think that would still get the stronger bond out of the two. This bit, trying to keep as much detail on it as possible. I mean, there is the potential, if I want to get really creative here, to take some of this out, push it further down, and have this bar cut off but overlap into that. So it will look like one solid piece rather than two bits glued together. Trying to figure out the logistics of cutting that and the workload. This piece will definitely be in the way, whichever way I do this. Also, this piece itself could be taken out instead.
With an axe.
Not sure about an axe. Oh, you just reminded me, I need to sharpen the bloody axe. Was like smashing up a bunch of pallets and chopping them up other day, and my blade went straight through and straight into the concrete.
Whoops.
Yeah. So, you know, that's something that's going to need sharpening back up. Did that strimmer work for you?
Yeah, it works great, thanks.
Like, Jen was worried when I gave you that like it might have like stopped working at some point or something. Yeah, got to hear it.
I think it does anyway. She hasn't said no.
No, I'm definitely going for this design.
Right.
Can I squeeze the rest of it under here? Can I remove enough of this and squash it in?
Blue.
I mean, potentially should be able to.
I cut off the blue, there we are.
So what's in the way, if you can see. So I'd have to file this bit down. What else is in the way?
Gonna need something
Hard to
put
see, right?
in.
I'm going to take this bit off and hopefully not make a complete mess of this.
You also ring?
A ring? Oh no, it's just a really old one of Stu's old ones. It must have just been some boxes in there when we were looking for something.
So I'm putting a blue wash now over these slightly green Terminators and Marines, just to add the shade into them and bring out that reflection. I'm going to thin it right down.
Right down?
Yep. Give them 5 minutes to dry out. Proper first.
I like using the Dremel for these jobs. I also dislike it because of the lack of control.
Yeah, bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it can easily go too far, or it can heat up the plastic a bit in the wrong place, make it melt. You know, that's never a good look. I think by lining up this part here with that under part there, I'm going to get a much more accurate look, and I think that's what I'm going to do, because then this will look like it protrudes properly. This bit going to be in the way. Always got to make things really fiddly for myself, aren't I?
Yep.
Oh well. As long as it doesn't look a mess. It's the thing, once you cut some of this, you can't put it back together. It'd be nice to have a second arm designed though by end of today. Now, I've got some more arms and pads that can probably go on the opposite side of that. I do. Now where would I have those shoulder pads? Maybe in this box next to me. Which one? Which box of bits could it be? Probably in the knob one. Which I also have a bunch of knobs I need to get done. Now what shoulder pad is it? I know they're around somewhere. They'd probably be ogre shoulder pads or the parts from the ripper guns. Now where have I put the ripper gun bits? These are the parts I'm on about. If I can find another part for the underneath of the ripper gun, I can bulk the other side of this out and make it look round on both sides. I don't know. Yeah, they're about the same size. I'd say so. Right. Oh, I hate that about having lots of sprues in a box. You take them out, you put them back together, you put them back in, and then the drawer doesn't shut.
Yep. That's how it rolls, baby. Right, a nice big bush. But not too big. Otherwise I'll make a big ear of it.
Right, we need to decide whether that's going to come off or stay on. Taking it off is going to give me a lot more manoeuvrability with this part of the arm.
Yeah, but knowing you, if you take it off, you'll put it back on again.
That's true. But it happens all the time. I can build over that so it doesn't have to be perfectly in line with this bit. Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. It's going to get cut off and I'm going to like get really annoyed that it's missing. Doing it anyway because I need to get something done. Can't just stare at an arm all day. Well, I suppose I could.
Thrilling viewing though.
Yeah. Right. And at this point, just sanding certain things off, I should be able to push this part further across into this one. After a lot of sanding. Yay. My favourite. Welcome to the sanding channel. And if it was a sand channel, it could at least be like a holiday program, it'd be a beach, but no, this is just
Sod that. No. You make me itch.
Oh yeah, you really don't like sand.
I hate it. I'm like a shit version of Vader.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much of this I can file off and then push over the rest of the project. Because if done right, I could probably slot that straight over like a cover, and it'd look awesome. If. It's quite a big if though. Definitely like to make the whole thing a bit skinnier. I should probably find my Sharpie before doing this.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Why?
To mark.
Mark the cuts.
Yeah, mark when not to cut, or mark where to cut.
I like not this leg.
Or not this bit. I do think I can get that almost pushed into there. Just got to figure out where all these points of contact in and then take them down a little bit at a time. It's riveting entertainment. The crowd goes wild.
And the crowd goes mild.
And leaves.
Meh.
So what did you get up to this weekend?
Played a bit of 40k. Went to see my mum.
Oh yeah, you've not seen her in a while, have you?
No. My sisters went to see her as well, so that was nice.
Oh, you obviously your whole family, isn't it?
Yeah. What did I do Saturday? Not a lot.
Yeah, lazy day.
Pretty much. Played Savage Worlds.
Savage Worlds?
D&D, just with a different system.
Oh,
It's we're playing. Oh, what's it called? Frosthaven or something like that. Basically, it's a sort of a Viking, Saxon, Ice Age theme.
oh, cool.
So I'm playing a berserker.
Makes sense.
Which has got a really cool quirk with the feat I've got.
Yeah.
Because when I go berserk, if I roll a 1 on any dice, I hit a random target what's next to me instead of a one what I wanted to hit. Friend or foe.
Sounds very cool-like.
So I try to stand next to somebody.
At all times.
Not all times, just in case.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And they're in a constant battle of running away from me, all my allies.
And you're just trying to keep up.
I'm like, no, come here. I want to make sure I hit something on the 1.
And you are good at rolling ones.
Normally, yes, but at the minute,
Yeah, not when you need them.
not when I want to hit a friend. No. I mean, I rolled. I think, bearing in mind the target number was like 4. Yeah. I think I rolled like a 26 to hit.
Yeah. How many dice?
Okay, this is a real weird thing with Savage Worlds. You get, as a character, you get what's called a wild dice, which is a D6. Yeah.
Yep.
You can always choose that, or your skill dice.
Mm.
And my fighting skill's a D10.
Right.
Because I was berserk and wild attack, and I get to add 4 to that.
Okay.
And if you roll the maximum number on a dice, you roll it
Yeah.
again, and keep on rolling until you stop getting maximums.
Okay.
So I rolled a 10 on my skill dice, and then another 10, and then a 2. 26.
Okay.
The ridiculously high number doesn't make a difference. Once you
No.
get what's called a raise, which is like beat the target number by 4,
Mm.
that's about as good as you can get.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You just get an extra d6 damage. You still roll just to see what you get, because why not?
Aye.
So yeah, I hit this poor goblin with a great axe with a 26 to hit.
Just go around bullying goblins, is it?
Bearing in mind I needed like an 8 to get a raise.
Sounds like actually rolling well in this. It's a bloody change. I'll just put some marks on this.
And what makes it really funny is because I'm a berserker, I've got quite a low parry, which is my defensive stat.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts off quite high, but once I start fighting, it goes really low. So it starts off at 7. I pull my and get my axe out. It goes down to 6 because it's a 2-handed axe.
Right, yeah.
Then I wild attack, which is another -2 to my parry. That's down to 4.
Mm.
And then when I'm berserk, I lose another -2 to my parry. So basically, they're looking at 2s to hit me, and they can't hurt me for some reason. Nothing hits me. I'm like the easiest person in the universe to hit.
Yeah.
And
no one hits you.
No one hits me.
Nothing ever works how it should around you, really, does it?
No. And of course, I can't go berserk unless I've been injured. I want to get hurt. I want to get hit, so I'm fairly tough because you need a bit to be able to survive it.
Yeah.
I've even got one of the guys. He's got a blade dancer, which has got a really cool ability where they run they run around the battlefield, hitting everything they come in base to base with.
Yeah.
So he deliberately runs past me, so he can trigger my berserk.
That makes sense. Yeah. Handy little tactic.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to run this way and tag Andy on the way past. Stab him in the arm with his dagger.
That makes sense.
I hope that he doesn't hit me back.
Just hope.
Of course, I'll cut him in half because he's proper feeble. His character. He's really quick but proper weedy.
It's balanced that way.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's a fun little game, really simple. It's a nice change from D&D, which has got loads of weird options.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not a bad little game. And the setting's cool because it's Vikings, isn't it? You know what I mean? What's not to like about that?
In all shapes and forms, you got Space Viking. Yeah, they're always fun to play around with.
Yeah.
Trying to get this to slot into there. That should be interesting.
So we killed a bear in our first session. So
Yeah.
I'm currently walking around with a bear fur.
Which you should.
Yeah.
Technically, but the people can't translate that, and then they're not sure whether it's bear or bear.
What makes and obviously I've deliberately put a name in to annoy Matt.
Is it one that's spelt wrong or pronounced funny, so he has to correct you all the time?
No, it's even worse than that.
Yeah.
I've called myself Fenrir Ulfson, which basically means wolf.
I can see why that would wind him up.
Because obviously he's into he does all the old Norse language, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's bloody complicated. That
It
I was
is.
trying to learn it.
He's doing Gothic at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, "Oh, Andy, you dick." I'm like, "Yeah."
Reminds me of that pet peeve that I never used to have, and Andy told me
Decimate.
what the word decimate actually uses, and he gets annoyed when people don't use it, and now I have to share in this because he's told me what it means. So every time someone uses it, I'm like, that's not what it means. Oh no, you decimated my army. Oh, you took out 10%. That's just normal casualties.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
It's a bad day at the office.
That word doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah.
But now I genuinely get annoyed when I hear someone use it in the wrong context and have to correct them, and that's all your fault.
But it's so widely used, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You hear it and it's like, no, that's not what it means. It's not half as bad as what it sounds.
No, not even close.
It's like, oh look, He decimated my army! What? Reduce it by 1/10. Great.
Oh no, an entire 10th.
Calling the reserves then, yeah?
We have reserves.
Steady umpire. Oh.
Well, that seems a bit too high now. If that goes that way, I'm still... might have to remove this ball joint completely and attach my arm using this bit, because this ball joint is actually getting a bit of pain. I would like to put this over the top, but it's making that arm look a little bit more warped than I want it to. That's not usually a problem I have, actually. You can still catch some of the detail. This is why I want to file it down, so I can have it sat in there without being too bulky. We're a bit of a bloody pain though. Oh well, let's see what happens. I'm probably going to regret this.
Probably. Too late to worry about it now, though.
Well, I do a lot of bloody sanding.
It has been noted.
I'd love it if I could get this to fit right over the top the way I want, obviously, because that's the way I want it, but I don't know if I can. I can visualise what it will look like when it interlocks. There's always other options.
Yes, thinning it down was definitely a good call.
Oh, not the two thick coats then, which is just heresy.
One thick coat. Ugh.
No, not one thick coat. One thick coat. Hey, where's his Islanders? There. Where's his Islanders gone?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen some really thick paint on paint jobs on eBay though.
Humbrol enamels.
Yeah, and it says pro painted on it. And
I love that.
It looks like you just dunked it in a paint pot, mate.
Is that Dulux?
We were going to make a video with that once.
Pro painted.
Pro
eBay
painted
style.
and then just get a paint roller and start painting an entire sprue. Come on, mutated arm.
We had some fun, some ideas for some daft videos.
I kind of looking forward to getting into the videos again, but like I don't know how long it'll be before the tedium kicks in and like here we are again.
Yeah, I think about 10 seconds, mate.
We did well when we did videos though. At one point, mate, we had nearly 400 subscribers in a month.
I know, mate.
That's nuts.
It was cool. It was depressing.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why it was
at least when you get in them kind of numbers, you're like, oh, there's some reward here. There is at least some dopamine at the end of the tunnel. Oh, well now I've done all that, I'm looking at it and it works better the other bloody way, doesn't it?
Well, avoid without the sanding.
No, there's still sanding, it just... That looks like there'd be more detail in that arm once that's blended in. God damn it. That way was okay to begin with. I cut that bit off. It doesn't look like that's protruding from the same place the other one is on the armour, and that's what's causing the problem. Looks like it's warped the wrong way around.
That's totally viable though, considering.
It is actually, yeah. I suppose it depends what else I put on this bit. But if I angle that too much down, I'm going to lose all that detail from the front look. If I put it the other way around, start working that one in instead, this one should, yeah, with those two bits, maybe even,
oh, this actually worked
see
better
how
than
that would work better.
This worked better than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks a lot better at that angle.
I knew the blue would react well with the yellow, be sort of a yellowy highlights.
Which blue is this?
It's just a blue wash.
Yeah.
Drakenhof blue. I knew it'd react well with the grey and the yellow highlights. But now it's drying up. It's reacting really well and making them non-metallic section. You know,
Sorry about the camera, guys.
the way it's reacting. It's actually really accentuating the style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's working really well.
I'm going to change the angle. Now I have to clean more bits. Yay. Which means more sanding. Yeah, I definitely prefer that the other way now. It's typical. And it's why it takes me so long to do everything, because I'll flip the angle around, have a look, and see what's what.
But the results speak for himself.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I hope they do. Most of the time when people see my projects, I do get that, well, that's awesome, what the hell is it?
Yeah, that's cool. What is it?
I like that though, they don't know why it's cool, it just looks cool. I think that's going to be one of my very firm decisions there, that's going in that angle. Right. My options there, Andy, doing it this way, this ball joint, showing everyone on camera as well. Comes down too low, too thick for this, so flipping it that way, and I'll attach that later. That with them particular ball joints in there make it look more realistic, if that makes sense. It looks more natural to the design. That's what I think anyway, I don't know. What do you reckon?
I see where it's going, man.
Plus it also locks in there almost. So, because I want that underneath detail there, with all the piping. Because I'm not going to do it all as piping. I'm going to remember to make it look like it's got weird liquids and stuff in it. Because the whole concept of them being stuffed full of random chemicals.
Oh, that is savage.
Is this some spicy meme?
It is.
Oh, I found some other day for you. We need to get our Discord sorted so we can share spicy memes with everybody, because we can't share them on here. We do have a Discord.
Yeah, we just need to figure out how to use it.
You could put that in the members thing for this, Like members get Discord access and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going that way with this. It has been decided. It just looks cooler. Now all I've got to do is start attaching this to this. Won't be needing that ball joint, although it's useful for lining up. It's weird. They pretty much do line up exactly the same scale wise, as you can tell by Games Workshop. That pin would go in there, and then that also fits directly there. That's really weird. That should actually, knowing that, allow me to get that quite comfortably on there. This bit will then be sticking out the top. So. Yeah, that is so weird, Andy. They fit perfect. Games Workshop's done the exact scale. Like where the cogs would be is exactly where the cogs would be on the.
It must be
board.
off it. You know what?
They must have used
A standard template, yeah.
Yeah, and then just built on top of it.
That's got to be what it is.
Because it fits perfectly.
Yeah,
It's really bizarre.
that does. It fits bang on, man. Yeah, it's got to be a template.
Yeah, it works for me, mate.
Oh no, you've made life easier.
Well, I'm going to make it harder now.
Oh, damn it.
For myself, usually. Right, so, how much of this do I want to take off? Do I want to just file it off and waste it? Do I want to just cut it off and push that in there? I think I'm going to saw this piece off. It's nuts that though. I'd never noticed how that lines up perfectly before.
But when you think about it, the vehicles are of the same scale, so it makes sense that it's just going to be templated for the same type of part. You know, a piston's a piston. Don't matter whether an automated it or a Bigmeksarmy.
That's true. It's just the rivets are slightly different. Right, so we've taken this off now. Apparently. Hopefully this, and not my fingers. How deep?
So, more deep.
More deep. Make sure it's deeper.
And you shall be called
It's
more
hard to
deep.
tell. So, looking at the gap I've got there, I reckon it gets squished right in. So, I'm just going to cut across here for now.
I'm going to go for a wee.
And I will saw this and hopefully not my fingers. If you need a coffee or Andy, just get one. It would have been easier to just Dremel that off, but I'm going to save that rivet detail for another project. I'll never end up throwing bits away. I even have bits boxes that just look like absolute garbage because they're left from another project. Alright, nearly got that off. Resin dust everywhere, that's always fun. Plastic dust. Not good for your lungs. Right. I think I've got a bit off angle there. If you don't have a razor saw in your collection of tools, I highly recommend having one. You guys are all really quiet in the chat today. Is everyone just hungover from the weekend?
I approve. I wish I was hungover. Actually, no, I don't. I wish I'd been pissed.
It's always a good option.
Yeah, not going to try to shift weight though, is it?
No. Gin's good for that though. Gin and lemonade.
Any of that sort of what's the word? Spirit.
Yeah.
It's quite low in sugars and stuff, aren't they?
Yep.
Right. Sorry, guys.
Back with the air dryer again.
You turn us on, please.
Hell no!
You know it.
I'm going to do, if you can hear me, is keep that peg available so I can keep sizing that up and cut that off last. I want these details, not those ones, so I might be able to file erase some of this.
Such a useful invention, these things.
Yep.
Hair dryers, really useful. As is that little hook.
Great invention by mankind. A bit of metal with a bend in it.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
So this is Hellbound Flesh, which is kind of greeny grey, so that should...
One of my favourite colours.
It is really good. So it should, in theory, highlight this up really nicely. In theory.
Doesn't always work the way you want.
Yep.
I've got some weird colour combinations over the years.
Oh yeah. That's all good though, isn't it? It's all kind of, you know.
Part of a learning experience.
Yeah.
Don't think most of that ball joint's going to be there when I finish, so...
He likes his ball. He wants it. He wants to keep it. So use Dodger's Artist Opus to do the dry brushing.
No. Get stabbed with a hobby knife.
Ah! I'm bleeding! Yeah.
Oh, that would be heresy to try and use an Artist Opus for dry brushing.
Yeah, unless you've got the actual dry brush set. Even then I'd still
Yeah.
be reluctant because there's so nice brushes.
Yeah, I think I'd lose my shit, to be honest. I love that brush. It's kind of affected my painting in a way where I don't use the other brushes, which I should,
Yeah.
for different things. And I will have to get on with some painting on the live stream again at some point, because
I don't know, I think, think people are enjoying watching you do that.
I'm enjoying doing this, but I don't want my painting to start lacking.
Dude, you stop painting for like 2 years. I don't think a couple of weeks of converting is going to make much difference.
Maybe not. How much of that am I going to take out? Some of this is going to come out now. Like I said, eventually that's going to be gone, so this is all going to get pushed up flat into there. Although I might be able to do that soon if I just take that ball joint off. That's a possibility. I'm kind of using it to line this up though. I want those as flush as possible. How much of this will be left to be seen? I should probably dig out a Sharpie. What I might do, as it's been an hour and 43 minutes already, is
Go for a
smoke break while I think about this. I'm definitely on the right track though. You know, I don't know if the viewers get that, but the difference when I find a certain piece and it's a definite yes, that's that. When people were telling me just change the arm for whatever reason, I'm like, nope, it's already been decided that this bit goes here, and nothing will ever change my mind on it. But those moments don't come that often. Which makes my progress slow. But I have a definite bit of armour for the top that I want. I've got some. What else have we got? And this arm's doing alright. Intricate and full of detail. But I shall be back shortly. I will learn more about OBS, Andy, so when it's a back in 5 minutes thing, you can just press the scene and I'll just pop up. It'd also be cool to have memes on there as well.
We're going to have to be careful with them though.
Yes, we'll have to keep them just a little bit spicy, like jalapeno spicy.
Try a different shade. Birch.
add some ideas.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good ones.
Yeah, I think so. I like that when that happens. I just go for a break and then my brain just wanders off and is like, do this.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's the benefits of taking a break, isn't it? Clears your mind a little bit.
Yeah. It wasn't even something I was thinking about. It just popped into my head. So these parts here, I might magnetize these for later use because I can get more second hand off somebody and attach more things. So it's going to have, you know, any Deff Dread worth his weight in salt is going to have at least two
Stabby things.
combat arms. But they'd be interchangeable. So what I'm thinking is I find some shoulder pads from somewhere else and attach them over here. So when they're magnetised in, they still look okay. It'd also make him look like he's had extra armour plating and just make him look a bit more vicious. I'll have a look in the box of knobs because they will have some shoulder pads about the right size. Sorry about the camera, guys. Earthquake apparently. The old earthquake test.
Gotta make sure it's gonna be fine.
We went shop other day, right, and Jen walked past a newspaper and they're predicting 49-degree weather. I'm like, babe, I am so out of that. I am just going to sleep in the cellar. Like, I can't handle that.
It's already that in Spain, mate.
I would not survive though. You know me.
You just melt in a corner and cry.
Yeah, so I'm basically going to move into the cellar if that happens, I think.
You'll be alright.
Yeah. At least it's not like the other year when me and Jen were doing the patio during the bloody heat wave.
Yeah, that wasn't the best move, was it?
Yeah, mixing a ton of concrete by hand because Jen declared that we don't need a cement mixer. So that was fun.
And you declared this was stupid.
Oh, I did. Very loudly and often. And then when we actually looked into the prices after we'd finished the project, you could have rented them for like 20 quid.
Yeah, but not expensive.
and the look Jen got was just like, I've been mixing all this by hand.
To save 20 quid.
We did over a ton. That was just for the slab.
Oh, jeez.
I don't recommend it, guys. Splash out and get yourself a cement mixer.
Alternatively, get someone else to do it.
I would have done, but I think it was mainly just us doing a project together.
Yeah.
Which has been a constant thing in the garden. It was rubbish when we first moved in.
Yeah, it's looking well now.
Yeah. I love the fact that we were away for a while when our new neighbours moved in, and our garden looks like an old woman lives there. And then these two metalheads turn up, drinking in the garden with loud music on.
Yeah.
Right.
Bit of a disconnect there.
Yeah, just a little bit, but we have a nice garden. Hey, just because we like metal doesn't mean we can't enjoy the garden. So that's what the kind of thing I was thinking, and I think that'll work if given enough space. I think they'll work. 2 of those, and then put magnets on the inside. Yeah,
Starting to glow now, isn't it?
Let's have a look. And Andy is currently on Twitch working on his gain heights. It's starting to bring out some of that colour. I can see what you're doing.
Yeah. I've gone away from the hellbound flesh for now.
Have you tried? I know you're trying to do it a quick way, but wet blending just white streak lines for the.
That's the last stop.
Okay, you're doing it that way around.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say, and then just wet blend white streaks through, and then maybe a fine line, and then.
That's basically
blend through with the washers.
That's the last stop. At the minute, I'm just putting in some shading now again with some precise. On that one, I've not gone as far on the rest, but on that one, I've gone another layer of highlights up, and I'm putting some precise shading to get that contrast, to get the glowy look.
Yeah, it's going to need to start extremely dark.
Well, at the minute, I'm just using the blue, but I'm probably going to go into a black in a second.
Yeah.
And start.
If you wanted to use blues, mate, I'd recommend that Scale 75 blue set for all that.
I'm using washers for the shading. More control.
So you're not going to. Yeah, I suppose it's even thinner. I was going to say you're not going to glaze those up.
Don't need to. Like I say, I'm trying to have a quick way of getting a really nice paint job. So starting to add in loads of glazing just takes away from the point, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Actually,
trying to reinvent the slab chop there.
Yeah, I suppose.
That wasn't a criticism. It almost seems like, a slap chop style, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Minimal work. Because who wants to do extra bloody work? It ain't me.
Not in a bloody army. On a
Right.
single model, when you enter in a competition, yeah, fair enough.
So what we've
Go
got,
nuts.
what we've got here that lines up, if I make a nice cut in there, and I can get this to squash into this piece enough, this should then fit into this metal part here, and it'll look all natural for a weird monstery demon thing.
Well, like, I don't know about natural, but look like that's where it's meant to be.
That's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm happy with not the speed of the progress, but the design process for this arm, as I had no idea what I was going to do with it this morning. He's going to look proper badass when he's done. And that the paint scheme will definitely be very complimentary of the style. I just need to make sure there's enough fleshy bits in there, because the purpley pink contrast against the Death Guard green for the armour is going to be crucial, otherwise it's not going to look right. It's going to look too much like Death Guard,
Yeah.
and I can't have that.
So that definitely needs thinning down before I use any black, because that's just too thick.
This, you go next. I mean, can I get the saw into that without damaging anything and take off the detail grid? Can I be bothered, because that looks really thin? We might be able to start taking this off. What I should do is that if I drill through there, because I'm using this as a guide, if I drill through it on both sides and then remove a piece, the hole should still be in the same place. So I'm going to try that now, because I think that'll serve me better in the long run, since I won't lose my guide hole then. I thought of another story to tell you when I was in there. I've forgotten it again now. Right, so now I have a guide hole all the way through that. So if I cut pieces off, I still know where it needs to line up.
Yeah.
There we go. That was pretty quick. So, what to take off? I'll start with the saw, and I'm going to try and take it off to this big bit here.
I don't care what you take off, so long as it's not your clothes.
Clothes? They're for normal people. The only reason I wear clothes is because I get arrested if I didn't.
I think that would be a fair call.
Yeah, probably. Ooh. That's a little bit too far across.
One of the chats is blowing up.
Yeah. That's awkward. Trying not to cut into anything else. Details what we want. Hello, whoever it is who just joined us. Welcome to the channel.
I'm going to stop streaming because I've had no viewers in 2 hours.
Damn.
Yeah. So, well, we'll still keep on waffling crap because I'm here.
I've not ever been able to stop you.
No, I don't think that's ever going to change.
No, in all the time I've met you, waffling crap.
I'm good at it.
Maffy's on. Alright, Maffy, how's it going?
Hello! How the devil are you?
Today we are constructing another arm for the Death Dread. I really am looking forward to painting this one when it's finished, because he was started so many years ago.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, the first one was started before I met you.
That was this one, yeah. A lot of work, a lot of design. I'm hoping to get them all finished and painted sometime over the year.
Sometime before you die.
Well, you know.
That'd help.
Yeah, but if I'm dead, I don't have to worry about anything.
I don't know. I reckon when we die, we pay taxes still.
If that whole ghost concept from Casper is real and unfinished business is a thing, I'm screwed.
Yeah, you're in for an eternity of painting shit.
An eternity of jobs that never quite got finished. Right. Now hopefully I can take this off. An eternity of painting wouldn't be that bad, really. You'd mop up at a golden demon. In fact, you'd stop going golden demon. It'd just be pointless.
Yeah, so, meh. Let someone else win it.
Yeah, because you'd enter every category because you've mastered painting to that degree. It only takes you 5 minutes.
And you've got all the time in the world as well.
Yeah, you've got infinite time, so... Alright, there's another bit. I don't know where the toothbrush went for cleaning up bits of model. It's a handy tool to have when you're sanding.
I've got a mould line remover.
Oh, that's alright, mate. It was mainly for the dust. It gets all over the model.
What an old soft paintbrush if that's any good to you.
Nah, that's alright, mate. I think I just blow most of it off. Alright. That's much closer than it was. I want to keep that round shape though, and I don't like this square one as much, so using that guide hole I made to put those in roughly the right position. This has got to go. Or at least some of it has. I need to figure out which bit is going to get left. I don't want to cut too much out. Although, if I'm honest, I think most of it can get cut out. But that's quite a commitment. I like the way this pipe should line up with this bit here, so we have a pretty cool looking piston. This lines up over the top of that, and then all I got to start doing is green stuffing and adding cabling when I add in the extra claw. Which, thank you for Lord Tattoo helping me to make that decision there. It was a pretty straightforward decision, but I'm always faffing around.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a kick up the arse and a bit of external inspiration, doesn't it?
Just someone else's perception on it. I'm like, you know what, they're right, that does look a lot better than the other one. Monster of Valhalla just popped in as well.
Monster!
Yep, he says, back at it, good to see. Matthew says, I just built and painted a set of Minotaurium containers and crates and barrels over the weekend. Man, was that tempting to kit bash a truck, battle wagon, or some kind of
fair
walkers,
one.
maybe. Yeah. Where did you get your crates from? Was it Games Workshop crates?
Yeah, the Minotaurium barrel,
Yeah.
it's terrain.
Oh, it was a Games Workshop brand then.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of off-brands for that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
I saw someone using a bunch of containers like that to make Diamond City from Fallout 4, and they were even painting all the Fallout figurines and stuff.
Cool.
In that style, sort of the futuristic, rundown, grim style. With he was doing a complete replica as well. I was watching it on Instagram. He was doing a really good job. Can't remember the guy's name though, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd tell everyone where to look. Yeah, this has got to go with just a bit left sticking out of it. I kind of figure out where to put the cuts. Next to or right underneath, because I probably can cut a lot of this out. Cutting it out rather than filing it down will save me a lot And Maffey says, I got the original Games Workshop ones. Nice. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of variants for those.
Yeah.
I can see why you'd think about building it into a truck or something.
Yeah, I can imagine it being tempting now. Some kind of oak buggy made out of ISO containers and that.
Yeah, definitely. I hate doing this on the live stream for you guys. It must be so boring watching me look at stuff. That piece can actually almost get completely removed. I'm wondering if I can. And if so, where would I start cutting? This piece would have to come out. And most of that piece as well, actually. So if I... Oh god, this is risky. This is a risk. Well, I'm just going to go for it. Monster of Valhalla says, cut it along the panel. The additional pipes and green stuff work will hide any gaps. Monster of Valhalla knows his stuff when it comes to kit bashing. That's pretty much where I'm going with this at this point, mate. You know, I don't want to file all that down and bond it together. It's a waste of these parts. They'll be usable later. So I think I'm going to go across this line here and across here, because that will blend into the back. And if it pops out, I can reattach stuff anyway. Especially with the green stuff. Can't fault the green stuff. I wouldn't mind getting myself some of that, what's it called? The green stuff accelerator for when I'm just trying to do jobs where I want to pin something in place or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
This could take a while. I don't have any more grinding discs on the Dremel, I don't think. Plus, that always makes a mess. Damn it.
Well, it's using a belt saw to do a scalpel's job, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't snap. No, I'm going to stick with a razor saw. That's going to be too risky. Master of Valhalla says, not boring, just a shame there's a delay in us typing and getting the messages. That's true. I think it's because our bandwidth's getting kind of used up a lot with 2 streams, and I think my last is playing Fallout 76 at the moment, which, well, runs like crap, to be honest. So that's probably killing the bandwidth. 100% heaps of reusable bits to add back in, and you don't hack them up. Now, I used to, but there's so many little intricate parts that don't seem like much, but when you attach them together or on the front panel of something, it makes a difference. And I hate doing rivets by hand on anything, so I'm always saving any bit of metal that's got rivets. Mappy says, sorry if I don't answer sometimes, my lady just came in the dungeon and wanted attention. That's fair enough.
Yeah, the boss lady is generally more important than anything we're going to say.
Yeah, because we won't have a go at you for not paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be an awkward cut. Come on. I've already put a scratch on there, but that's easily fixable.
You can always paint it in as a scratch, can't you? If it comes down to it.
Good old moral mates. Although it's on with the hydraulics, so rust, not so much a good idea.
Just scratched up.
Yeah. I used to use a blushing brush for that on bits of terrain. If you do won't block bronze, and then you dry brush over metal flat textures with the blushing brush, it leaves quite a lot of silver streaks. So you just use different silvers and different gradients and keep building that up, and then put a wash over to blend it together, and then do it again, and you get a very nice scuff flow effect for metals. Just a random handy tip to throw out there on the live stream. I think I was doing, when I learned that, I was doing a commission for, you know, that giant plasma cannon for the terrain.
Oh, what Canon terrain piece, yeah, that was
It was
first
one of
met,
those,
wasn't
and it had the little walking platforms on, and that's how I did those. And Maffey says I have a whole box full of offcuts and half bits. They are essential at all times, mate. At all times, I have the exact same thing. I think you've heard us mention it before. Andy can't throw anything out. The second I find a sprue with a head or anything, it comes straight off and it goes in the box. I think that might stem from when, like, you know, I started converting when I was younger and bits were scarce. Monster Valhalla says a few passes and the snippers will finish the job without snapping the piston. I'm just going to play it safe. In my experience, I've had many times where I'm like, that'll do just fine, and yeah, I may not necessarily snap it, but they are a bit of a bugger for warping the shape, and I think this is almost through now. There we go. There was a little pop. I don't know if you heard it. That's the first cut. So far, so good. Now, as far as I can tell, for bits being covered up, almost this whole piece will be going here. So in there, right.
Far too much pen.
Just trying to visualize that. I think best option is through there somewhere. That one's a bit of a pain. I like the way those line up. It's bizarre. If you weren't watching earlier, Master of Valhalla, they must use the same template on this, because if you look at the joins, they actually line up perfectly with the demon piece as well as the orc piece, which I just found very fascinating, and I hadn't noticed until just recently.
It's only going to be one of those things you notice if you're actually putting an orc part together along with a demon engine.
Yeah, I don't think people do that very often.
No, it's not I dare say it's not a common thing.
Try and keep that piece on, I guess. So cut through here as well. That way, if it bows or anything later, I don't risk snapping off that piston. Master of Valhalla's agreeing that they do warp out of shape quite easily. It's just the shape of the old school clippers. They always make something more triangle on one side. Personally, I prefer a hobby knife when it's sharp enough. That's not for very long though. As everyone knows, hobby knives get blunt so quick. Right, this piece needs to come out. I shouldn't have to worry too much about the warping now though. God bless the razor saw. Hell yeah. Good investment, that.
It was actually a very good investment, really useful thing.
Yeah, whereas if you use the cutting disc on the Dremel, it tends to heat up the joins you've cut through, or if the blade's not on properly, it wobbles left and right, making the gap that you're trying to make a lot wider than it needs to be. Whereas the razor saw gets straight through it.
Into your finger.
Usually into my finger. Oh, you've said it now.
Into mine usually, as well.
There's not the possibility of using the entire length of the saw for this bit, so I'm just going to have to keep going back and forth. It's more like filing it down. Hopefully it won't take too long.
Nah, it chops for it even when you can't use a lot of it.
I have been tempted to get one of those stone grinding tools that I saw advertised a lot recently on the internet. They're for like wood grinding. It's basically like a Dremel, but you hold it more like a pen. For inscribing and things like that. I thought that'd be really cool to do to Space Marine armor and do like engraved tribal paint or something up the legs, or ruins and stuff like that. So you could make really cool looking Space Wolves.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
You know, with Norse patterns of the armor work.
But actually engraved rather than painted on.
Yeah, and then you can really highlight them. Master Valhalla says, just finished off a 3-man custom Wolves Eradicators squad. Was good to get back to hobbying after a bit of time away from the desk due to work.
Yeah, it's always nice when you've had a break from it, web reinforced, or just needed to get back and do something interesting.
And then Maffey says the Dremel is a nightmare to cut plastic. It's just way too fast. Everything keeps melting. Yep, I've sort of learned to use that to my advantage, and I always give it a little bit of extra leeway and then finish off with a knife. But it melts because it goes too fast. Even on the lowest setting, the one I've got, it will heat up the plastic. Come on, off you come. There's just this intense moment building up on the live stream as everyone's waiting for the moment where this hobby knife pings off and goes through my fingernail. The amount of times I've had stupid hobby knife accidents.
Oh, mate. It should actually come with a warning not to be used by nerds.
Didn't ever sell anything.
No, you'd have to get one of your non-nerd friends to use it for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got a hobby knife, but I'm not allowed to use it because I'm going to stab myself with it. So
It just sits there on the shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
Monster of Valhalla says, I've done the engraving to Wolf's tanks with a Dremel. They've done a light layer of plastic cement on the surface. Gives a hammered metal effect.
Ah.
That sounds like an interesting technique, actually. Plastic cement. I'll have to check that technique out. Anything to add texture in. I think that was the only good use of the liquid green stuff. You could texture surfaces with it.
Yeah.
Everything else people try to use it for, like filling in gaps, you can be done with just a little bit of gloss. Which, if you guys don't know, when green stuffing and your sculpting's not as smooth as you want, just give it some layers of gloss. It'll smooth out the surface texture. Come on. I'm obviously trying to be really careful not to cut anything I don't want to cut on this. Monster of Valhalla says, we are waiting for the corn offering of blood. We can't lie. It's on the way. I'm guaranteeing it. And Maffey says, I guess I saw something like that in a video once. Yeah, was it the video where someone was doing ghosts from fantasy and then making them look like they had cloaks on by texturing them up? That's where I learnt it. I'm not sure who made that video. And Maffey also said that's a nice tip. You're welcome. Welcome everyone else who's joining the channel.
Oh, it's bumping yours now.
Yeah, it's proper going.
I'll fire back up.
Yeah, it might do. Oh, you're going back on Twitch?
May as well. Yeah, give people an option.
Well, Andy's going to fire his Twitch back up now. It's getting a bit more lively in here. That gives you guys a second screen to look at if you can be bothered to open the other window. On Twitch, there should be a link in this description. The audio is the same, so you just mute one and they just run both videos next to each other. And Matthew said he didn't think of that yet, and was a World War II tank or something. That would make sense as to why you would see that on there.
Yeah.
That's quite, that makes sense. Master of Valhalla says, just Dremel on hundreds of ball-tip dots to the panel, then the plastic cement takes the burrs off and semi-blurs the impression together. Works like a charm once you get the hang of it. I'd agree with you. On the side of, I don't know how well you can see those indents on the side here. They were just done with bits of the Dremel. They look a bit rough, but what we use, Model Makes Rust Effect, which is basically like adding real rust to anything. So
Model Makes is ace.
Yeah, was to just skim this away so it looked like it had eroded, do the paint job, and then at the end, all those edges and all those dimples, just put that in so it looks like it's completely rotted away and the front's just fallen off.
Like the boat.
Like the boat, where the front fell off. I was thinking the same thing, Andy.
I thought you might have been.
And didn't you come in a Deff Dread? No, front fell off. Master of Valhalla says, I just read that one. No worries. Come on. Gotta get this arm done. Nearly there, I hope. Tempted to risk it with this. That's a really awkward one to get the tools into.
Typical Andy fashion, I'm already covered in paint.
How? You're only dry brushing?
I tend to dry. I dry it on the paper, and then I dry it on myself as well.
Yeah.
I can never get it exactly how I want it. You know what I mean?
I always use my hand light when I'm dry brushing. Master of Valhalla says, look up Dremel Flexi Shaft, changes the game of using the Dremel.
We were looking at them.
Airbrush painting game. Oh, you've mentioned that before. And
Yeah.
Matthew also says true. I think I actually have one of those. It just attaches into this, doesn't it? And then it's basically a long pencil.
Yeah.
I think I've got one of those somewhere. I'll have to dig that out.
I know we were talking about them a while back.
I'm sure it came with one. Monster of Valhalla says, next on the board for me is converting my Desecrator Knight into my Wolf's Knight. That should be interesting.
Maybe it might be worth picking up the Canis Rex parts for that one.
Weren't you telling me earlier before we were on the live stream that your mate figured out how to get a knight into a
Titan, mate?
A Titan into a Gene Stealer cult army?
Yeah.
Now that would be a conversion I'd like to see.
But you can also do it with knights.
Yeah.
It's actually easy to do it with knights. It's just not as amusing. I can't remember exactly what he put in it.
Hey.
But it was, had me chuckling like a good one. I thought that was a work of genius. Gene Stealer Cult Warhound Titan. Go on then.
Sounds like an interesting project.
Expensive one, but we're only 1,500 points.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to suck. Because Reaver Titan's 2,200.
Only 1,500 points.
The thing is,
most of your army.
Titans are inherently rubbish.
Yeah.
Because they're not balanced for 40k. But
we're getting somewhere with this arm, guys.
It's still kind of cool. I mean, I'd love to play a higher point game so I can play my Reaver again.
Yeah, I bet it's not seen much tabletop time, has it?
No, but we've got another hobby day coming up at the club, so I'll be taking it for that.
Cool.
Because we'll probably have an epic game again, because that was a laugh.
And Monster of Valhalla says, seriously, if you have one, use it. Control goes up 100%. Oh, 1,000%.
That's a big percent.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to have a look into that. It might mean I don't need to muck around with this Dremel either. I can just bolt this to the side of the
Use mucking
desk
about.
and use the other bit. Speaking of 1000%, I'm pretty sure while playing Fallout the other day I found a really weird typo on one of the mods for a ghost rifle, and apparently the mod makes it do 1100% more range.
That's a long way.
It is, so I'm going to try and mod that weapon up and see if we can actually get that range on it, because Jen's already got a rifle build. And the longest range in there is like 419, and that's the legacy dragons. But if you can make a rifle go even further than that, go for it.
Yeah, why not? Got to try.
I don't know if it's just a typo though, or it actually counts. But it's Bethesda, so I have to check it out now, don't I?
Oh yeah, damn right. Because they're liable to have ballsed it up to a point where it worked.
Yeah, exactly, and that's my favourite bit. I think it's everyone's favourite bit about that company. Yay, they ballsed it up again so we can have fun. I don't think that company remembers what fun on a game is. It's getting to a point with this
what other people
game.
have.
It's like you can stand here with all these weapon skins on and not do much. We'll complete the game for you. Okay. Just pretty much how most of that feels now. It's like me and Jenna go to an event, we don't even play it. We just sit there and grab awards.
Whilst other people are doing it.
Yeah. So what is the point?
So I'm currently doing.
Oh, sorry, mate. Monster of Valhalla says yes. Hang it up the Dremel machine like an IV drip. That's actually what I was thinking. So then we only have to use the power on the desk.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'll try and set that up actually.
If you're interested in what I'm doing, I'm still working on the Grey Knights. I'm doing non-metallics.
There is Gay Nights.
So come check this out if you're interested. We're starting to look kind of cool because I'm doing it's a sort of almost a slap chop sort of method, which I've never tried. Using a lot of overbrushing and wash techniques to get the transitions right.
You'll have to excuse the noise a second, guys. I'll respond to this first. Matthew says I did that. It came with a spindly mountain stick, but I hung it against the wall. That makes sense, because why would you need this big chunky thing lying around if you can just use the power switch for it?
Yeah, damn right.
Let's take a little bit more of this off. It's going to be an arm to be proud of. Hopefully the precision cutting will pay off and it will look, like it's supposed to look like that way. So basically there'll be no telling what's happened with it. It should just work.
Yeah. At the very least, even if you don't get it exactly how you want it, it should look good either way.
Yeah, hopefully. Right, so this bit will be coming out. I was only going to use it to ball joint this on, but it looks like that's going to get a pin anyway. Master of Valhalla says, what's the Twitch channel name, mate? Oh, all good, found it. Yeah, we made sure to put the link in the description because originally it wasn't in there and I just assumed it was.
Yeah, because we're good like that. We know our tech.
Oh, we're amazing at tech.
We can turn it on and everything.
Yeah. It might not work. I'm going to love how that's...
So, just so you know what I'm doing, I've got a really thin down, and I mean really thin down blue wash. So I started off with Griffin Grey, then overbrushed it with 50-50 Griffin Grey and Desert Yellow. Then gone over with the Desert Yellow again. The top current highlight is Birch. And then I'm painting some shades in with the blue wash, so it gets an actual reflection rather than kind of a weird greeny hue. So it's a very experimental sort of painting style, as I've never done this sort of thing before. But I really don't fancy painting an entire army with non-metallics in the traditional style because that'll take me forever.
You don't feel like punishing yourself quite that much at the moment?
No. So I'm trying out variants of different painting methods. to get the same effect with a much quicker result. And I'm gonna have to.
And on YouTube right now, it's time for that ball joint to disappear. Very, as you can see, those have been watching a while, slowly working our way through the bits, you know, making sure everything lines up correctly, and so there's no mistakes. Because I hate having to glue bits on after you've cut them off.
Yeah, I say it's much more difficult to stick something together than it is to take it apart.
So everything on my table comes apart a little bit at a time.
That's where I go wrong with converting, because I'm really not very patient in that respect.
Looking how that goes together now, we need to feed some of this into this, and it should look rather natural actually once it's done. Like it should be there, which is cool. This spike may have to go as we line that up, and keep the metal bits, I think, and then bond those into there. And hey, we've nearly got a decent arm bit. One side of it anyway.
Not even a full decent arm, it's just a decent arm part.
That is true, but I've been known to make arms out of 16 to 20 pieces. But they look unique.
I ain't gonna take that away from you, if they do.
Yeah, this is coming along nicely. So, this claw's going. I see no reason to keep it as an extra detail. And with green stuff work happening in that area, it'll probably just get in the way. I'm not going to clean that up because I want that there as a reminder until I'm finally ready to do the next bit. Reminds me where things have come from, what was missing. And that's going to look pretty smart. So this piece is off. Front fell off.
Obviously. That's what the front does, isn't it?
Oh, I thought that was part of the design process myself.
Yeah. Restrictive maritime standards. You know, paper's out, so it's cardboard.
No paper. No cardboard. No paper derivative.
The finest interview ever.
It really is. It can hold that title for as long as it wants, because I don't think we'll see another one as good.
No.
So how is everybody else doing? Don't be scared to jump in the chat with the regulars. Everyone's a friendly bunch around here. I say that and then someone disappears off the chat. That's some severe social anxiety. They mentioned communication. Leave.
No.
I don't envy anyone with social anxiety though, that must suck. You know, because interacting with people tends to be a part of life.
Sadly.
Ooh, I think I cut that a bit abruptly like a div. Damn it. Yep.
You got a bit confident.
I went too confident there while I'm looking around. I'm gonna pay for that. Well. Sculpting there it is. This just needs to get further onto here now. So this piece ain't gonna be needed. It's just in the way. Everything there lines up pretty, almost right. So I should hollow this out. At least this bit's on the inside, so I don't have to worry too much about, going too far. But the one moment I'm not paying attention, I cut far too much off something. And
It was going to happen.
I could have made it a really snug fit with a poly cement as well.
It was going to happen though. The minute you lose focus, that's it, innit?
Yeah. I suppose it's weird because I always think I'm over focusing, and then the 1 minute I'm not. So nah, bug it up.
Yeah. That's why I focus so hard.
Apologies for the noise. Not much I can do about it.
Yeah, it's just a part of the hobby, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Dremels
have to buy a silencer for my Dremel.
Can you get a silencer for yourself while you're at it?
I could. Are you paying? Almost there.
Let our YouTube revenue pay for it.
What YouTube revenue? We've gone very downhill over the years. Mainly because we haven't uploaded an actual video in like 6 months. Probably up to over 6 months now.
Oh, quite likely.
Right, so rather than rebuilding that part up, I'm just going to make it look like it's round, and we'll attach something to the end here into the muscle, so it holds better, and it'll also fit into this a bit here, which is, yeah, that'll work a lot better. Right, so this whole bit's coming off. Sorry if this doesn't stay on camera. I'm obviously trying to concentrate on what it is I'm doing and see what I'm doing. Surprisingly, being able to see in this hobby helps.
Yeah. It's got to suck for those people who are involved in the hobby and then, go blind because of whatever, accidents or medical reasons or whatever. It's like, how do you interact in a hobby after that?
Oh, especially if you've been into it for years.
Yeah, it's a massive part of your life. It's like, wow, what do you do?
Take up another hobby, like masturbation, probably.
You can't even watch. You can't even watch naughty videos though.
Oh, well, you better had a really, really good memory. Yeah, being blind must fucking suck. But like you're saying, it's probably worse going blind because then you've had something and it's gone, rather than the other way around. I don't know. It's making me think of the stupid questions your mates ask when you're all wasted. It's like, would you rather lose your legs or your arms? It's like, oh god, here we go.
Legs.
Yeah.
So I can still paint without legs.
You can paint?
Well, I can try. You can pick up a paintbrush.
Might have better luck with your legs.
I've seen people do that. Paint with their feet.
That'd be a set of skills. Is that a new comment? Monster Valhalla says, when you use the fixed shaft, mount the unit in a plastic
container
box, turn it on, shut the door, and watch the dB level drop.
Yeah.
That would work.
Basically put it in a shoebox.
Which could be done if I found the shaft piece and stick it under the table.
Yeah.
Alright, cheers for that. I'll see if I can set that up for the live stream.
Could even do that with hairdryer.
Yes. Well, actually, we were going to make a heating box once for drying stuff, if you remember, involving the hairdryer, where it'd blow hot air through the pipe and just heat up whatever was in the box. But in a way, the air was broken up, so it wasn't a solid flow.
We were going to do that with a sanding box as well, with the Hoover at the end of it.
Oh yeah, just to clean up.
Yeah. So you're not sanding it open.
No, I'm breathing all that in.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure my lungs are really, really healthy.
I think mine are like blooming gay pride flag right now these days. All different paints have been breathing in. I remember when we first started, we actually used masks and stuff. I think that lasted about a week.
Yeah, for safety reasons, we recommend everyone else uses masks. Our lungs are forfeit.
Yeah, we've been at this long enough to just go, you know what?
I don't think it could do any more damage than it's already done.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's cleaned up almost. Oh, me and Jen, when you were asking about squirrels, we went to go feed some other squirrels in the other park, just because we were heading that way anyway. But it's where all the ducks are. Have you ever tried feeding squirrels when there's loads of geese around?
Oh right, okay.
It got very interesting, and because some of that was fenced off and there's not been many people around.
The geese are really nasty.
Yeah, so basically we start off trying to throw nuts at these squirrels, and this whole army of birds just come from all across the park because there's no one else there, and we're just sat in this field full of geese.
I were up at Cusworth Hall a couple of years back,
Yeah.
and we got followed around. There's a lake in Cusworth Hall.
Yeah.
We got followed around the entire lake by I don't know what a group of ducks is called, so I'm going to use herd, because there was millions of them just following me around, chasing me around the lake. It was really bizarre, and obviously the dog was really useful and proper chased them off and stuff.
Oh, because your dog's such a dog.
Yeah. They were just chasing us around. I was like, what's going on? Leave us alone.
And we left the group as well, and then we found some of the squirrels we were trying to feed. Jen throws one nut, one duck spots it,
Next thing you
comes
know,
charging over, waddling, and everyone else just starts noticing it, running towards us. Oh, it's really weird to see that in action. The group think, he's running over there must be something interesting, and then everyone else just starts following.
you sure you were talking about ducks, not people?
I don't know.
Because that's what sounds like what people do.
What, start following you around?
Just following,
Whatever else is doing.
Yeah.
They didn't do a study, they experiment with that in a lift. If everyone's facing the opposite way, someone will come in and turn around just because everyone else is doing so.
In a lift, I always face a door because that's the way out.
But they were sort of playing off like there's two doors, etc. But it says something about the group think, or maybe we just all inherently think that we're wrong. It's like, I hope these people are right because I'm not 100% sure which way the door's going to open.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in that situation, I'd be facing a door. I don't care which one because I'm just fucking claustrophobic and balls to being in a lift.
I don't mind lifts that much. They're alright.
I'm just like say, claustrophobic, small spaces. Really don't like. I really don't like them.
I've broken a few in the past. Me and Jen were on holiday coming back drunk.
Jumping.
Yeah. No, it was no. I hit the wrong button, didn't I? I hit the emergency stop button.
So people used to do that, especially when they found out when I was at college. Especially when they found out I was claustrophobic. So I was really bad at back then.
That's like telling anyone in your clan that something annoys you.
Yeah.
You know you're going to get it worse then.
So yeah, as soon as they batter it then, so I just stopped using the chuffing thing.
That makes sense.
I was like, yeah, if you're going to jump every time you get me stuck in it.
Yeah.
Stuck for 20 minutes in a bloody...
I don't blame you, mate. I'd have binned that idea off.
It's like, yeah, fuck you guys, I'm going to walk.
So right when you're going downstairs.
Yeah, it kind of sucked going upstairs. So I only used it when I was in a rush, and when you're in a rush, no one jumps because you need to get where you're going.
Yeah. Well, it's not something.
But yeah, I was just like, nah, I'll just walk, thanks. Why you always walk upstairs? It's 4 flights. It's like, because I don't like lifts, and everyone knows.
We're almost there. Just gotta make it slide and fit in there now.
Just slide it right in there.
Slide it in. To get rid of all of that, it's going to take me a little bit.
Right, I'll say drying. Find out what my phone was going nuts about.
switch to the clippers, I think. Because I don't think I can warp anything inside here. The worst that happen is, well, I warp the opposite side. I'll go all the way through the piece that I'm working on. That would actually suck, seeing as it's got all these lovely details on this side. Gonna look so good. The second arm of this model has really been winding me up during the construction. I am genuinely happy that I've come up with a design for the other one. It's only took however many bloody years. Dremel's not really good for conversation, is it? It's like trying to Dremel, can't really talk over it.
Yeah, it's like the hairdryer in that respect, and it just makes a racket.
Well, I'll take Monster of Valhalla's idea and build some kind of sound box for it.
I think that was a good idea, actually.
We've got space there to sort that out.
Not plenty of space, yeah.
Which is surprising after we downgraded the studio, but we made it work.
We just became more economical. We had plenty of space, so we used it. Now we ain't got much.
So we use less.
Yeah.
Alright, I just need to figure out how far, well, how much of this am I going to leave on here? This needs to go under there. Technically I could cut most of that out if I wanted to. Probably. That'll be a bit of a pain. It would look good on this side, for definite. To remove this, push that further in. It's very hard for me to keep that together while looking at the opposite side, making sure everything's correct. So I can place this whole socket there with this one. Maybe where the mold line was down here, take most of that off just to be re-sculpted. Hopefully. Again, I don't want to just rush into Dremeling some of these bits off and then regret that. I would like it to just fit over that and I can get a really good bond. I can either fill it with green stuff or poly cement. And I don't have to worry about precision cutting. knife for a lot of that. Just so it's a bit more accurate. Luckily it has a mould line down there that I can follow. Not seeing Martin popping today, I don't think.
No.
I might actually be getting some work done.
Wow.
Could you imagine doing actual work?
Nah, I don't know what it's like. Been too long.
Slowly getting there. So maybe I do take some of this out. But it's very hard to tell what's it going to look like on the other side. It almost fits as well. So build wise, it's definitely getting where it needs to be. For the other side, I might just bulk it up with some green stuff. So it's looking about right, I think. Maybe I take a little bit more off just to push it in a bit further. I don't know why that tune's always popping in my head.
A-Team / Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I think this is almost ready to get bonded after a few hours work.
That's very quick for you.
Yeah, I've only been streaming for like 3 hours trying to figure this all out.
No, it was complimentary, you know.
Yeah.
It's very quick for you.
I'm very happy with the result, so that's got to count for something. It's not often I'm extremely happy with the results I'm getting on something. So as far as I'm concerned,
it's a win.
It's a win. It's a good lot of work done. And basically at that point, this will just need extra piping to connect to this part. And I'll build it up that way. Not sure which way I'll have his head looking. I think it will be looking to his left. Alright, I think I can almost start bonding that on. I think I don't want it dripping everywhere either though. I'll take a little bit more of that off. I'm happy I was able to, I'm happy I was able to keep most of the detailing for the arm with pretty good accuracy. Knocked off one of my rivets.
Rivet. Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, fair enough, he went there. It's too late to do anything about it now. And that looks like pretty much that final position. Well, that took 3 hours. Alright. Where are the contact points? And the glue.
Polly.
Yes, please, mate. I'll be really careful with this since I've spent so long putting it together.
Is that as well?
Cheers. Oh, is this actual glue?
That's a gel super glue.
Oh, Jesus, you're a lifesaver, mate. It's been how long since we've had gel super glue?
I know, mate.
Okay. Contact points on this. I want to try and keep the glue to the inside. So if it squashes out of there, it's not too bad. Bit of glue there. Don't decide to block up on me now. I'm not going to glue that top bar there on yet. I will do that afterwards, I think. All the way across that mould line. And with a bit of luck, I probably could have put a bit of glue on that contact point, but
If in doubt, do we out, won't it?
I can always add some after.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty cool.
Once it's set, I'll have a look.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it a little while to set fully before I do anything with it. I've got a little bit of faffing time where I can try and get the best position. Can't believe how long it took me to file down, but
It's because you were doing tiny chunks, so you got it right. And it's best to do it that way, isn't it?
should give a very nice result when it's done. The green stuffing should be nice and easy. That bit there that's cut, all I do is I add a little bit of green stuff there, nurgle it up, make it look like it's bonded here. This bit here, the same, but it'll wrap round. And that pipe, the whole bit there for the pipe will get built around, so the piston goes in. And this bit of piston as well will also get modified as we're going to glue that into this bit. And just that angle there should show all that extra detailing. I'm quite happy with that. It's progress, slow progress, but still, he's got a bit more of an arm than he had this morning. One day I'll have 4 arms. And I still have spare parts from that as well. Which the angled cut I made this morning. And there's another one here. Actually learning that these parts connect to the Deff dread has given me a whole new look on how I'm going to convert that second Deff dread. Like actually making the giant arms shouldn't be too difficult now. If they're interchangeable with the joints on the Deff dread and kill can arms, then I'll just keep doing the same thing till they merge together.
Makes sense.
This guy's like miles away. I haven't really started him yet. I just bought him like this and cut the front off.
It's a good start point.
Aye.
I think it's got mileage, even just as basic as it is.
Yeah. And just cleaning the dust off, taking off half of this side and make half of that mutated the other way, and it's onto a winner already.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm like? I will find a way of making it take longer.
Obviously.
I don't know if the kill can arms are the same scale.
The same-ish. I don't think.
Well, they do almost line up.
Yeah, I thought they might.
It's a little bit off, but
Nothing you can't work with.
nah, it's easily workable. I can't believe how long I've spent building this arm. Let it bond properly.
Well, the arm is important to you, so I totally understand it.
It's been my pet project for so many years.
Yeah.
Going to put some polyglue just in there. Yeah, a lot of care has been taken with just the concepts or ideas for every single conversion.
Yeah, exactly. You really work from ground up for it. So you're gonna want it to look right.
Well, I think there should be a Nurgle orc army just because it's cool. The other option there for weird orc armies would be to do Tusker's army of.
I don't know. I think
orcs.
Slanesh orcs would be interesting.
I don't know how you go about that one. Excessive orcs for a species that's already excessive. Yeah, I'd be open to suggestions for that one.
You could go down the noise thing, because orcs like noise.
Yeah, you just make them all like the punk rock, like orc band or something.
Yeah, or you could go down. I mean, you could go down the fat bloke thing. You know, the excessive eating.
Orcs.
Yeah.
You could do.
There's a lot of weird stuff you can go. You could go down gambling route.
All in tuxedos and shit.
Yeah. Orcs with OCD.
Could you imagine? Orcs of OCD. I don't think anything would look orky anymore if you had orcs of OCD.
Exactly.
They're too bloody organised.
So yeah, I mean, even Slanesh has got a lot it could play around with, and I think that would get really weird really quickly, which is kind of the
like
point.
weird.
All right.
The computer trying to tell you something.
Apparently so, but the message never came up.
Oh.
So, fair enough. Whatever you want, Microsoft. Whatever you want.
He just wants your sort code and bank account details.
Oh, is it that new Nigerian prince?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Don't be throwing shade on our Nigerian prince. Oh, them scam calls, they make me laugh. This is about your internet, okay? So it's about my internet. There's not.
You don't. Not even the provider, just the internet.
This is about your internet. It's like you didn't tell me who you were. Like, what you just told me the phone calls about my internet, and I'm like, no, I'm alright, mate.
There's actually a TikTok who makes videos about scammers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny because he's.
I've seen somewhere they just basically, when you get a scam call, try and keep them on the call as long as possible. Because the longer you waste their time for, the less people they can scam.
Oh no! What he does, because he's in the Department of Homeland Security's internet cyber defense course, and he's got a master's degree in it.
Yeah.
So he hacks them back.
I think I've heard that one as well.
Yeah, he hacks them back and proper ruins a day. It's brilliant. Sets up fake email account, fake PayPals and all kinds of stuff. It's blooming hilarious. I want to see full videos of what he does because it's obviously TikTok is only like a minute.
Yeah. No doubt you'll be able to find them on YouTube.
And yeah, bloke's a wizard. It started sounding like one of the tunes from Nightmare Before Christmas.
That one. Yeah, it did actually. It's the no music, it drives us a bit mad.
I love that film.
It's like having a debate with someone in Denmark and they had a bunch of opinions on that film. And the question was, is it a Christmas film?
Yes.
Or is it a Halloween film?
Yes.
But he was telling me about all the debates that people are having, and you get really engaged in it because you think one way, and then someone makes a point, and you're like, I didn't think of that, and adding it to the question, and be like, it's actually a really good topic for discussion when you're drunk at the bar.
To be fair, though, when you're drunk at the bar, pretty much anything's a good topic for discussion.
Yeah, I suppose. You mean you still use words at the bar? I just start using hand gestures. 2 more. I'm sat on my
Dos
own.
cerveza por favor.
What's that? 2 beers, please.
Yeah, in Spanish.
That's all you need. That's all the Spanish you ever need to learn. Okay, so this pinch is going on here.
It just slows things down because I can't order 4.
Yeah. Say the same thing twice.
Dos cerveza por favor. 2 twos.
I like this grid on here. That's kind of cool. One of the things I'm going to struggle with now is designing the back part of this. But I think that blends pretty seamlessly. May put scorches on. But I think, because all I need to do is put these on, is magnetise those in, I think. So it does give me options to make the coolest looking Deff Dread have multiple weapon options so I can always field him. Which I would like to do, considering how much work went into it.
That makes sense.
So we're just leaving the front 2 arms as interchangeable. Currently Andy's working on Twitch. Working away on his gay nights. And this is, yeah, you're starting to bring out the white bits now before you do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it working. All the highlights are, going in the right place, so I can see it working.
It's just a case of gently just brightening them white sections up with much more white, and then darkening the shading down.
Maybe you could even get away with doing that with a thin contrast paint. Actually put the colour back in and the highlights pre-done. I've seen them do that with slap chop, but you seem to be making sort of your own technique at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just playing around.
Can't fault you with that. How to attach this arm to here without that ball joint's going to come off. I know what angle I want this at, so I'm not happy moving it around too much as I'm waiting for that glue to set fully. Might be a bit big. I also want to be able to pack the model away, that's always handy. I'm liking where that's going though. It's too long. Could pin this for now. There's not going to be no harm in that, I don't think. So, off with the ball joint.
Off with his balls.
Boom.
He's now a castrato.
Hopefully this doesn't muck anything up. How wide is that compared to that? That's pushing it a bit for the width. You're making things dirty in your head again, Andy.
Yep.
Well done.
I ain't gonna deny it.
Right, trying to just put a rough guide hole in this thing. Because I don't have much wiggle room. You know what drills are like? They always want to go off to one side.
Yeah.
How's that? That's not too bad.
I think I'm fairly happy with that. That transition on the top's not great.
Wider surface, when you do something like that on a wider surface, you get it's more difficult to do.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. It's not perfectly in the centre, but he's an orc, and I'm sure I can make that work.
No.
Still going wrong over there.
No, it's just the colour I wanted wasn't on the brush.
Trying to figure out which way that's going to go, where to put the actual claw. Just line that up. I've got blue tack. Blue tack's always a temporary fix, so I can see what I'm doing. No, well, one arm ended up longer than the other. Oh well.
Doesn't matter. It's a dreadnought. And an orc.
And all mutated.
Yeah.
As long as it looks big and scary on the battlefield.
It don't have to be symmetrical, does it?
No. In fact, at one point we were talking about making a tiny hand for him.
Yeah.
A little strong hand. With that angle though, these cables are going to get in the way. It's a bit of pain. That's not too bad. So the pose you want to finish with is to make it look really dynamic and like a display piece. You always want the best finishing pose for your paint job as well. Oh.
Somebody getting hungry?
I don't know. Like my stomach didn't eat enough yesterday at that restaurant.
Or you can eat for winners.
Yeah, mate. It's not all you can eat, it's eat all you can. Good restaurant though. I'd recommend it. Well, like you were saying, I never knew they had like a hit and miss sort of thing because I've only ever been there once. I suppose like it makes sense. It depends who was making the food. Like Cosmos or whatever. The place is great. So if anyone's out there finds one, definitely check it out. Food from all across the world in one place, and all you can eat. So lots of opportunity to try stuff. Tried the sushi at last. It's a weird one. I like it. I don't think I'd go out and pay for it to eat it.
Yeah, fair enough.
If that makes any sense. It's
Yeah.
like, didn't taste bad at all. I enjoyed pretty much everything that I ate. There's only so much you can do with raw fish, I guess.
Yeah, I dare say.
But it is nice that it doesn't just taste of raw fish. It has like nice textures to it, some other flavourings.
Alright, now it needs some colour.
Needle nose pliers. And the claw. It's the claw.
Jim Carrey. Liar, liar.
Oh, you know what?
You was thinking,
I was doing Toy Story, but you are correct as well. Like, you are correct. He does that in there.
yeah.
So I guess you get, I don't know, some form of point for being correct. I'm not sure how, but there you go. Makes sense. It actually stumped me thinking about that one for a minute. I'm like, oh, didn't think of that. Right, some glue. Hopefully it might be super.
You could even call it from Carrie Lou's as well. See, Carrie Lou's, because he's the boyfriend in Liar Liar.
I haven't seen that one in a while. Ah, shit. Right. Bit of glue. Let that set a little bit. At this point, I've got options there. Right, so that's pinned. To figure out the pin for the other bit of arm, so I can get my angle correct. If I can get this done before the end of the day, then it could be set if I have to use green stuff. What I haven't done You leave myself something to drill into there. It's all hollow. Damn it.
Smooth.
Yep. I can figure that out. I can always put a wad of green stuff on it and let it set. Gives me something to drill straight into. Trying to find the angle that I like the best as well. I haven't thought much about the legs, but I'll get around to those, I suppose, once the top of the body's built. I've never been able to figure out if design-wise that's a good idea or a bad idea.
What's that?
Doing the top and then the bottom, or the bottom and then the top.
Not sure.
When it comes to that point of the build, that's where I muck up the most. And just the demon prints, for example, that got messed up. Should have been stood a bit taller. And I wish I'd gone for a jetpack instead of the wings. Now, to do more flesh to this or not? The other side's going to need something. So obviously this is all empty now. I can't actually remember what parts are supposed to go on this.
Well, there's been that many go onto it, I dare say it's not.
Oh yeah, I was actually thinking the original. I was like, I'm trying to figure out what the original part was that went there. Good luck finding that now.
It might actually be in the right place, or part of it anyway.
It's always a possibility. It's starting to look like most of the other side of that will be green stuff. Quite lucky with that cut there. There's still a lot of the smooth armour, so sculpting into that should be pretty easy. I think any more use of the forge feed bits is just overusing the forge feed bits.
Save some for another project.
That's what I'm thinking. I can get probably another 2 arms out of these bits that I've got with the angle that I've cut them at. Not too sure about this one because it's the same through both sides, so could potentially at some point cut down that way. Or through that way. That one's a bit more awkward. Well, I know that's going on there as well. It's one of a kind.
That is the truth.
Yeah, I'm not going to bump into anyone else with this model.
Not anything closer, dare say.
Probably not. I have a whole heap of cables and other bits. Now the green stuff into the other side. That's going to take some time and concentration. A bunch of extra mechanical bits I can always slap on. Curious as to how I'm going to pin that in there. Really looking forward to when I paint this and I can bring out all these fleshy parts and the contrast for the rivets, the iron pieces. Now somewhere, like on this one, I've got some of these shoulder pads and I have no idea where they've gone. So I'd like to figure that one out as well. What shoulder pads are going to go on what. Does this piece fit in there with the shoulder pads on? It can be made to fit in there with the shoulder pads on, I think. Doesn't fit quite as well though. Yeah, it can be done. So I don't have to worry about that too much. Now the Mario tune will not leave my head.
I thought that's what it was. Been buzzing around my head for the last 5 minutes and all.
You're welcome.
I can't complain. I don't enough to you.
You know, just design process at this point. Figure out, you know, the angles of the items, what extra detailing needs doing. What do you guys reckon? I think it's starting to take some shape now. How's that looking?
It's looking pretty cool.
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't with the amount of hours that just went into it. That's an interesting lid. Oh. Brand of super glue is this?
Loctite.
Loctite.
That good stuff.
Good stuff. So when it comes to design process, back of this obviously needs doing, and I need to figure out this bit. Do I want to bring the green stuff flesh further over? Do I want to add tentacles to it or the detailing? But that's something I'll have to think about before doing anything. Maybe on one of the other ones I will use the actual hands. Spare parts, gotta love them. Spare parts, gotta have them all.
I think we do.
We might do. I really like that grill on the look, the armor plating. Sorry, but it's only on one side. So I either have to build something on the other side or find something to replace it with. To the bits box! Where's the Deff Dread one? What colour is it?
To the box bits. To the winch wench.
Oh, classic. I love shouting that at Jen.
And Artax dying still gets me.
That seems like
Proper brutal, man. Isn't it?
aye.
But a horse just goes, nah, I can't be arsed anymore.
because it's too depressed.
Yeah.
It just gives in and dies.
It's like, wow, savage.
It's just kids' TV back in the day.
I don't even care if I care. So what?
I don't even care whether or not I care. Oh, there's another shoulder pad.
Yeah, dark ass TV back then.
But it was good. It taught us life lessons and shit. Not like this bollocks people watch nowadays.
At least Dora the Explorer, blooming, taught you a different language.
Yeah, why should she only explore places people have already been?
She's
That's
only
not
10.
exploring.
Well,
She
like,
gets around a bit for a 10-year-old.
she's like 6 or something. I mean, she's bilingual. And she's got a blooming talking backpack. Give her a...
What? She's got a talking backpack? I've
Yeah.
never actually watched it, so I didn't know she had a talking backpack.
Yeah. But someone's been doing parodies of Dora the Explorer and turned her into a serial killer. Have you seen that?
No.
It's brilliant. Because the lass actually looks like a real life Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Backpack's a bloke. And she keeps killing people and getting Backpack to help her out burying stuff.
That's cool. I like it.
And he's like, no!
I saw I think it was Instagram or Facebook, and someone had done like some Muppet sort of characters, and it just says on the meme, "Hear me out, Muppets Texas Chainsaw Massacre," and I'm like, that would be cool. They did Happy Fun Time Murders.
Yeah, which is basically, isn't it Seven that does the Muppets?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good though. It's pretty funny. It's just Jim Henson doing adult Muppets,
Yeah, fair enough.
which is pretty cool. It's a weird thing to see though, because they're the exact same style of puppets.
Yeah.
So then I watch the style of puppets on Sesame Street and the movies, all swearing and drinking and doing drugs. You're just like, what? Yeah, I recommend it to anyone if they've not seen that one. I think it's just called Happy Fun Time Murders.
I think you're right.
It was the title that intrigued me.
What's that? What's that?
Happy Fun Time Murder sounds like my jam.
Yeah, no, it was.
Unlike that really, really bad Nick Cage film that came out recently that looks like it was inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's and is just ridiculous.
Which one's that one?
Something Wonderland, and I don't know, he's just in a theme park fighting animatronic enemies for no reason. And they basically nicked the storyline from Chucky, but made a lot of other enemies out of it. It's bad.
I want to see what other new...
I'm withering away trying to describe it to you. That's how bad it is.
Fair enough. But the Nick Cage film, something about being awesome or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's Nick Cage playing himself. Apparently, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have to check that one out. I need to finish Better Call Saul. I've only got a few episodes left, and then I can move on to something else.
I'm halfway through season 3 of Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
but I accidentally found a spoiler for myself, which was annoying.
Oh, no way. Unlucky. But how are you finding it so far?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I thought you would. I don't think I've had anyone say that like they didn't enjoy it.
I'm a little bit disappointed that Walter and Jesse had a massive fallout.
Mm.
So they seem to have already gone through enough to be able to weather that sort of storm.
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't make much sense, really.
It will. I've watched it twice, no, 3 times I think. First time I watched it mainly just following Walter White, but the second time I watched it like almost with a completely different opinion, watching like Jesse as the main character through it, and you pay attention to the difference in the stories the second time, and it's like really weird. But I can't really say it because like you haven't seen it, so you'll figure out what I mean later on at some point. If you ever finish it all.
I will. It takes me a while to get to watch series to watch a lot of series because I don't watch a lot of TV.
Me neither. Usually it's before bed. just stick some on. Background noise.
Yeah.
Alright.
I do like Saul though. He's cool.
Yeah. Criminal lawyer. Now we need a criminal lawyer. Which is kind of an interesting concept because a lawyer would know exactly how far they can bend the laws.
Yeah, and how best to avoid any fallout from breaking them.
Yeah, that's what got me to Better Call Saul a bit actually. Although the first seasons for that were a bit
Slow.
slow and weird. Like it was hit or miss, you know. So either really, really interesting or boring. Me and Jen were both in the same opinion on that bit. So it lacked the consistency.
Yeah.
Although it's balanced itself out now. So I guess it's got a feel for itself after so many seasons. And it knows what it wants to make. Well, they know what they want to make.
Jam.
Jam.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with some jam. Right. Again, that could work. It's still only one part from the arm. The other one for that is stuck on here. But I think a lot of that's going to need green stuff work and extra piping before I do anything too drastic with it. Need to start figuring out these legs as well. At one point we were contemplating doing spider legs. Something along like that sort of idea. Because his legs are too small. They just don't look bulky enough to be carrying the top half of this around. So I should probably extend the legs a little bit. Maybe I can create some. Yeah, I could just create some thighs and extend his legs a bit. Make him stand a little bit taller. He already takes up most of a 60mm base by the looks of it. Yeah, let's make him stand a bit higher. Rather an obvious bit of conversion there. It could be done. That definitely could be done. But then I need more parts. I could probably scrap build my own copy of these legs with plastic art piping. Because I'm thinking he might want to be a little bit taller.
That is.
Due to when I put these next to here, Andy, that's a very small stumpy leg. You can barely see it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a little bit of extra height never hurt anybody.
It's all about those extra inches.
That's what she said.
But not to you.
Nope. I've got a box of fuel cans here somewhere as well, with more parts. I'm just looking through the bits box, guys. I want some of these big pipes off the back of the battle wagon. This probably needs a really good clean. Yeah, I want some, like a lot of chimneys coming out the back of this. Anything that looks like it will spread more fog and decay and smog. I meant smog, not fog. I might have space to put the bell on. With it being 4:30, guys, and we have been live streaming for nearly 4 hours, which actually flew by today. I am going to turn off the live stream, and thank you everyone for watching. We will not be on Wednesday. We will be back on
Thursday,
due to real life.
Yeah,
So,
Andy having to work.
yeah. So thanks everyone for watching, and we will catch you on Thursday.